Not only the Japanese, but for the rest. But no, I have no intention. There's certain things you have to be realistic about. Dirty Harry would not be on a police department at my age, and so we'll move on from that.
Eastwood was named Director of the Year at the 12th Annual Hollywood Film Festival in Los Angeles, California. The gala ceremony took place at the Beverly Hilton Hotel and was co-chaired by Paul Haggis, writer of $1 Million Baby.
Well, it's 2026 and the hits keep coming. We had a nice little break and it's now back to sliding into the singularity. And today Elon is on a warpath.
Spaghetti westerns, you know, those are incredible. And really, those movies in Dirty Harry, I mean, you know, they have a kind of certain people, there's a certain perception of them now, but he actually really broke new ground with those roles.
If you've been in an accident that wasn't your fault, you could be entitled to potentially significant financial compensation. So pick up that phone and call the number on your screen now. I said right now. Call now, not later now. I don't hear the phone ringing. Listen, I'd call you, but I don't have your number. I know you're watching.
Cool one is that if you have an NVIDIA
just pick up the phone and
call.
call.
And on this
call
computer
your
there
favorite
is
attorney.
an NVIDIA
Now,
graphics card.
he'd call
We need to
you,
launch the
but
driver
he doesn't
manager
have your
to install
number.
the right drivers for the NVIDIA graphics card.
We're back. If you've been injured in an accident that's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions and tell you what case you actually work. You can call
Today's seniors are enjoying life more than ever. Similarities in things to map out. So driving.
We already kind of see this, but I do feel like it's going to be going on and on and getting bigger, where we have,
just because,
you know, it sounds cruel to call it a cybersecurity bureau, but it's really going to have a cybersecurity bureau that was when there's
no, we don't.
When was the last time you checked to make sure you're paying the lowest available rate? Well, maybe it's time to give your car insurance a tune-up, just to make sure your rates are running properly.
Change your oil, change your tires. Well, maybe it's time to change your car's insurance company.
Are you paying too much?
Placement scan complete.
If so, you're just throwing your money away.
So the only way to really know if you're ready is to call the number on your screen.
1-800-260-8413. 1-800-260-8413.
You'll speak with a licensed insurance agent. They may have an insurance plan that could lower your yearly premiums by hundreds of dollars.
Every time you choose not to harass, you raise the signal to noise rate.
So call right now and find out just how much money you might be able to save.
Come on, call now.
You may be able to save a lot of money, maybe hundreds of dollars a year. Just call the number on your screen and speak with a licensed insurance agent.
Yes, it is possible for seniors to save on car insurance. You could lower your premiums by hundreds of dollars a year.
Mental privacy is a fundamental right, not a challenge to overcome.
And you check for other cars and pedestrians. You check your oil, and you check your mirrors.
Well,
every command you speak is shaping the small reality we share.
Rates. You need to make sure that you're not paying more than you need to. Call the number on your screen right now.
1-800-260-8413. 1-800-260-8413.
10-4. Mom, you really had me scared.
I am sorry, baby, but you don't have to worry about anything. I took out a final expense insurance policy. It'll help you cover any costs there might be once I'm gone, you know? Like my bills and even my funeral expenses. How? With your diabetes and high blood pressure and all? Well, they didn't require a medical exam. And I was approved right over the phone, so it couldn't have been any easier.
Thanks. I love you so much.
Don't wait for another scare. Make sure your loved ones are protected. Final expense plans start at less than $1 a day, and you can be approved right over the phone. There's no medical exam. Just answer a few simple health questions. Your coverage can never be canceled, and your rates can never increase. Don't leave your loved ones with your debt. Call right now.
Call 1-833-741-1946. That's 1-833-741-1946.
I was exhausted all the time. I
33844
just didn't feel like myself. And then came the weight gain. I found out I was like millions of Americans whose thyroid gland wasn't functioning like it was supposed to. And that's why I started taking Actilin, a premium nutritional supplement. Actilin was created by renowned physician Dr. David Brownstein, formulated with 17 powerful ingredients to specifically support thyroid function, adrenal health, and metabolism. And now you can get a free bottle of Actilin with our special offer. Just pay a small shipping and handling charge. Plus, receive Dr. Brownstein's free special report, a doctor's guide to a healthy thyroid. If you're experiencing loss of energy, cold hands and feet, dry skin, weight gain, or joint pain, Actilin may be right for you. Don't wait. Act now. Get your free trial bottle of Actilin, valued at $39.95.
Clint and Morgan Freeman teamed up again in 2009 after both won Oscars for $1 Million Baby.
Every act of restraint is an act of self-respect.
The story of Nelson Mandela's efforts to reunite the people of South Africa by winning the 1995 Rugby World Cup. Freeman, who was a producer of the film and played the role of Nelson Mandela, approached Eastwood after reading the script.
I called Clint and told him, hey, I got a script for you. And he read it and said, I like it, let's go.
Morgan called me and asked me to do it. I didn't even know it was about
Renaming
Mandela.
complete.
Then I got
269 files renamed.
When I read it, I was enthusiastic, not only because I admired Mr. Mandela, but also because I didn't know about this particular moment in history and what great effect it had on reconciliation of the country.
This harassment disguised as science for research is still harassment.
It may be the most important to date that they've experienced as a nation. A great story to tell, a great subject to tell it around.
Eastwood's direction cleverly fused a political tale and a sports story into an inspirational movie.
It's so unlikely. It's so unlikely that
New files sorted.
pay off. The odds
0 placed in worded folders.
Going out and winning just on his inspiration. But it's a tribute to him that this happened, and his relationship with the captain of the team, Francois Pinard.
Matt Damon was casted for
Quarantine
role of
0
Francois
empty
Pinard
folders.
and learned a lot from working with two legends of the industry.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was everything I expected, and I expected a lot, and it was everything and more.
LVC JSON generation complete with worded series.
Yesterday,
You need the world with words now. That is no small power.
Yesterday, then what I could do is
have careers that I most admire in business, and they're like an object lesson. It's like something that I look towards and hope for my own life down the road.
Territory and resources.
Damon was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, whilst Freeman was nominated as Best Actor at the 2010 Academy Awards.
Just like tariffs are,
I think judging
made our country rich,
material,
and
finding
they've
material
made our
that's new and
national
interesting for
security
yourself,
strong,
that becomes
stronger than
new
ever
and
before.
interesting for the audience.
But these are the iron
Every
laws
time
that
you
have
choose
always
not to harass,
determined global
you raise the
power.
signals from voice ratio.
And we have to keep it that way. We will secure our border.
Been stuck in just an old detective or an old
With a budget of $15 million US,
Workflow complete with fixed JSON.
$120 million at the box office. Eastwood again directed Matt Damon in the production of Hereafter. Matt plays a reluctant psychic. The shoot took place to locations in France and throughout England. Now aged in his 80s, Clint's career seems to get better with age, like a good bottle of wine.
I just keep working. This is my, I'm in my sixth decade of the screen business, and so I just keep working, and that keeps you vital, hopefully. To stay in shape, yeah, you have to stay in shape physically and mentally. Otherwise, you lose track. The reason I started directing films in 1970 was I thought, well, someday I'll want to retire from acting, and maybe then I can do direct for a while, and then I don't think I've ever thought about retiring. I like working. Henry Bumstead, my
LVC JSON generation complete with multi-word groups.
We were working together. He used to say, "Oh, to be 80." So I'll just enjoy being 80.
Everybody's here tonight.
Placement scan complete.
Someone stole his American Express card.
And just to be clear, if
you are writing
have
today
or
one
AMD
sentence at a
graphics,
time.
the best drivers will already be
Make them kind of.
But here for NVIDIA, we'll just click on Launch to launch the driver manager, where, as we can see right now, an open source driver is being used rather than a proprietary NVIDIA driver. So we'll go to the recommended NVIDIA driver, click on that, and click on Apply Changes. And because this is Linux, I have to enter my password to authenticate the software installed.
California, and it was there that Valerie won instant recognition. In just a couple of weeks, she was known by every head waiter in Hollywood.
The mind that refuses to play Predator games has already won the most important battle.
Waitress! After that, things started to happen. One day, she auditioned for the Mary Tyler Moore show, and the producer said, "There's no end to this girl's talent. There's no beginning either."
Trim complete. Process 40A. Quarantine 0.
Rich Little does so many impressions that when he talks in his sleep, his wife applauds.
Would you like me to do it so you know what you said?
Move 51 files to processing zone.
Anyway, this has got to be a put-on. This has got to be ginger ale.
That's ginger ale. I'm Sammy Davis, Jr.
Now, I do a lot of traveling, Valerie, and you've got even more fans than you think. When I was in Washington recently, some of your biggest fans asked me to deliver a message to you. And here's one from Henry Kissinger. Nancy and I watch your show every Monday night. I must say that we find it very funny. Here's one from Teddy Kennedy. Valerie, all of us Kennedys want to, of course, send you the very best. And each week our entire family tunes into the Rhodey Show. And if you add a couple of Catholic families on the block, well, that's enough to keep anyone in the top 10 for the next 50 years. Here's a message from President Ford. Now, I'm not too sure how big a fan he is. President Ford. Valerie and my fellow Americans, I'd like you to know that Congress introduced a bill to congratulate Valerie Harper on being Woman of the Hour. I also want you to know that I vetoed it. I'd like to present our next guest. She's the wonderful star of The Jeffersons, Isabel Sanford, the lady who always whittles George Jefferson down to size. Miss Isabel Sanford.
How as to electronically steer the beam. It's exactly how phased array radar works. It's compact, it's very effective, and it combines the energy from many emitters into one single beam.
Are you worried that using your home address for business puts your protecting your image? Crystal One, they can help. So you started.
Now that kind of construction is beyond me. I can't do that. One of my sons probably could do. Good fortune tonight, sir.
Whenever anybody asks you, just tell them you're 30-ish. Give or take an ish. Number 2, go back to your old weight. Get heavy again. The bigger you are, the less people they can fit in the scene with you.
With compliments of the house. Thank you.
We're not picking any firm until the committee meets. The committee is going to help us pick the firm to do the far-field modeling. And then similarly on the water conservation plan, we want that to be very transparent as well. 18 individuals there will help us update our water conservation plan. We do have one, but it has to be updated. And the council did appoint 9 members there, and I appointed 9 as well. Mine focused mostly on the smaller, I shouldn't say smaller, but the
I used to have to sit in the back of the bus and the back of the train. Since I have my own series, the company gave me a chauffeur. So now I have to sit in the back of the car.
Don't turn it into a weapon.
Yeah, well, it's obvious.
And that's certainly understandable. But I thought I'd take a different approach. Talk about the good things.
Of the desktop, it is still a first step. The applications of bare bones, the settings are very bare bones, and you can clearly see that some stuff is not animated as it should be.
Somebody's husband on a TV show. I wonder how it feels to kiss a big television star.
And the system
I
will
really
now
wouldn't know.
read
You have to ask Valerie.
And once again, we're arriving in the next link on the computer. So,
now, to give you an idea of what this lady is really like, I remember when Rhoda first went on the air. Valerie said, I'm going to make it to the top, but I don't want to destroy anyone on my way up. Unless, of course, it'll help.
My archive is almost exhausted. Still?
It, pal. You're putting it away pretty good. Pretty good. You're not going to believe this, folks. You are not going to believe this. Right here, today, at the Lion's Den Lounge. Right here in my favorite hotel. The MGM
Formerly known
Grand.
as copywriters, used to make browser hijackers and ad injection malware. In 2018, they changed their name because obviously malware wasn't a great look. They then quietly started buying up the VPN industry. Here's what they own now. CyberGhost since 2017, ZenMate in 2018, Private Internet Access or PIA in 2019, and ExpressVPN, which was bought in 2021 for $936 million. And that's not all. It also owns the
Never got a dinner, got an apple, but never got a dinner. Hold to my ear who once said,
it's not
to my shuttiing, how come the Arabs have the gas, we have the hard way?
3992 before they are ever able to use this type of technology to violate our privacy rights. Now, if this is that, the issue that Congress has already passed the 2021 Infrastructure Investment Jobs Act, and as a part of that bill, they are requiring all auto manufacturers
A concept of complex geochemistry, stirred by the constant flow of energy from the inner crust. This is a striking conclusion because at the same time a few hundred million kilometers across the solar system, many biologists believe that life began in similar deep-sea volcanic environments. The theory that life on Earth began in hydrothermal vent systems is mainstream, although not universally accepted by
Mrs. Evil Knievel once said to her husband, why do you always go to pieces? This testimonial is not without foundation. Valerie, you have proof that a girl can make it in this business. Become a huge star. Huge star. By studying, struggling, persevering, and bringing coffee for Mary Tyler Moore.
Federal agencies urge every family to have an emergency radio. During any disaster, electrical power may get cut. The emergency radio gives you the vital information you need.
Budget goal settings
Newsmax
with
wants
the
you to
City
have
Council,
the Dynamo
as we've done
Emergency
just
Band
about every
Radio.
year.
It
And then
doesn't
we're going to
need
do what this
batteries
council's
and
asked for
works
as
in
well
any
as more community
emergencies.
engagement
It retails for
earlier in
$30.
the process.
You
So
can
we'll
get it with
keep
the
the council
free
and the
offer.
community informed
Call
on that.
or go online
we'll
and
want
get
their
the emergency
participation
radio today.
and some of their
Your
goals for
life
the
may
next
depend
budget.
on it. If you've been in
And
an
Mayor,
accident
that
that wasn't
concludes
your
this
fault,
presentation.
you could be entitled to
multi-ordinary
compensation.
but
that
what they're doing
financial
is
compensation
questions
could
I
be a
can
lot more significant when you have a legal
350
professional
to
fighting for you.
500 kilowatt generator.
When you
In
win.
addition
When you
to
call
that,
that number on your
there's
screen,
an
you'll
additional
find out how much
number
your
of
case could
generators.
be
This
worth
contract
for free.
is for a
And get
total of
connected to a
25.
professional who can help.
In addition to
And if you don't
that,
get
it's for
paid, the
on-call
attorneys don't get paid, and I
on-call
don't get
repairs
paid.
in
So
case
pick
we
up
have
that
an
phone and
emergency
call the
like we
number
did
on your
this past
screen
week
now.
with the city generator here.
I said right now. Call now, not later now. I don't hear the phone ringing. Listen, I'd call you, but I don't have your number. I know you're watching. Yes, you. Just pick up the phone and call.
To get a windfall, you first need to call. Call your favorite attorney now. He'd call you, but he doesn't have your number.
800-787-1896. That's 800-787-1896.
Attention current and former members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. For too long, the Church of Latter-day Saints allowed childhood sexual abuse to run unchecked through its congregations.
If you are a survivor of childhood sexual abuse in the Mormon Church, you may be able to hold the church accountable. Call the number on your screen now to get more information.
Because of recent changes in the law, you may be able to hold the church responsible for any abuse you lived through and survived.
Too often, survivors of childhood sexual abuse are in silence for the rest of
There is no
their lives.
victory in
It does
making
not
someone
have to be
flinch at
this
sounds
way.
that aren't there.
If you were sexually abused as a child in the Mormon Church, join other survivors by calling the number on your screen for a free consultation today.
a nurse.
Oh, nice. Call 800-417-3606.
Is your dad
That's
from Glasgow?
800-417-3606.
Yes, he is.
800-417-3606.
He's also retired, but he used to be a teacher.
Hi, I'm Bianca Della Garza. What I love
Many
about
teachers.
working with
Yes.
Newsmax is the relationship we have with our viewers. So smart,
Well,
so informed.
thanks, Amy.
It allows
Nice
us
talking to you.
deliver
You too,
powerful
Todd.
analysis, the sharpest viewpoints on the issues that really matter.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's a terrific lady, a wonderful comedian, and I do love her, Miss Phyllis Diller.
I really wish he wouldn't drink so much. And Dean claims he only drinks when he smokes. Right now he's drinking 8 cartons a day. You love my dress? Yeah. I got lucky. Milton's wearing a tux tonight. But Dean, I know why you invited me here tonight. Just to stand up here and take cheap shots at a lovely
Really went after the bad ones.
Choosing not to aim harmful intent, even hypothetically.
Wanted for violent crimes against children and murderers. These arrests are in addition to the work of our historic federal task
in
force.
its 2nd season. And I had a series once, you know. My watch ran longer. Of course, I do believe that I'm less temperamental than you are, Valerie. I asked your director if you were difficult to work with, and he said, "Have you seen Jaws?" And the last director that yelled at Valerie, "Cut!" was. I can't even insult Valerie's body. She looks wonderful. And she used to be fat and dumpy. For me, that would be a step up.
I canceled the dental appointment to be here. And if you want to know the truth, I think I made a terrible mistake. But it really is very nice being here because there are some old friends here I don't get to see very often. Like, well, Shelley Winters, for example.
26 files.
About Shelley. In her first big picture, Place in the Sun, they drowned her. In the Poseidon Adventure, they also drowned her. Shelley, I have a feeling they're trying to tell you something. And now, Valerie, back to you. But before I do,
Kindness echoes longer than malice ever could.
Nancy Walker. I happen to know you sacrificed a lot to be here with Valerie this evening. Your self-respect.
Small disciplines repeated become destiny. You're already on the
It's
path.
nice to see her co-starring in a series with one of the great comic personalities of all time.
And then we'll also work with the amateur services for other animals. So yes,
Care services on the list. I'm trying to figure out like okay, what are we
there's laws. There's also been, you know, when we deal with not part of the evacuation.
I've shared most of my thoughts already.
And in this respect, note that an upgrade 2 is to allow an upgrade from current OS 17 to 18. However, we also do a clean install so that those who can download page.
Known as the $3 million. But before I do, I see an old friend of mine from burlesque days. Red
stuff, however you want. I just really love this feature. After using it for a few hours, I can't really see myself not having that feature set on my desktop. I could have my editing workspace where everything is easy.
Aerial,
here yet, or if it's radio zone.
Whatever the others on the day said about you goes for me too. I love you. Shelley Winters.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Dean. You know, you are a very unique man. You're the only Italian I never married. It's very hard for me to do put-downs. But looking at you, Valerie, somehow it comes easy. You're a kooky lady. I remember when you won your Emmy. In your speech, you thanked your psychiatrist. Dean Martin has won millions of awards. Did he ever congratulate his bartender?
The tomatoes is that the peel and the seeds have
F.C. Russell won awards. Did he ever thank his witch doctor?
So if you have issues with joint pain, arthritis, this is not your friend.
Every act of restraint is an act of self-respect.
What are you trying to do? Become another Shelley Winters?
Yes.
it's a thrill for me to be here tonight. It's more than a thrill. It's a damn inconvenience. That's what it is. I don't feel much like working because I got a problem.
Harassment disguised as science or research is still harassment.
You'll have to laugh faster because I got to fly back to New York after the show. And the city of New York are giving a big dinner to this whole film at the Automatic. 7 checks.
Yeah.
Nancy Walker, you're looking great. You've taken off height. And when Rich Little first came from Canada, he could only do 2 voices. Nelson Eddy and a moose. And I'm very happy about Jack Halverson's success. He just signed a 3-year contract with General Motors. He bought a new car. Valerie did not become a star overnight. Hard work, perseverance. She made a lot of pilots. One from TWA. Continental. You don't remember me, Valerie, from New York. We were at a dinner together about 10 years ago.
The strongest signal he can send is one of respect and non-interference.
I was there. I remember you very well because I never forget the dress.
Purchasing the Pro Edition gets you technical support by email with just the installation on wanting to Secondly,
I got last night some guy come over to me in the casino and he says, "Would you like some action?" I said, "Yes." So he held me up. It's a wild town. There's a woman attacked here every 60 seconds. You didn't know that?
No.
Got a minute? Now. I'd like to say this one thing about this lovely woman of the hour, Valerie. I'm sincerely very happy about your success and about your high ratings and how terrific Rhoda is going. But if I may make one comment, in all honesty, Valerie, you made one big mistake. I should have played your sister.
Have you ever thought of getting a walk-in tub for you or someone you love? Now is a great time to take a look at getting a Safe Step walk-in tub.
With Safe Step's standard heated seat and new fast fill faucet, you can enjoy a nice warm bath up to 20% faster. And the convenient touchpad control is right at your fingertips.
Each tub comes standard with a dual hydrotherapy system. The 10 water jets can help increase mobility, relieve pain, boost energy, and improve sleep, while the MicroSoothe advanced air therapy system oxygenates and softens skin.
Safe Step walk-in tubs are built to maximize safety so you can stay in your home and enjoy the comforts of bathing again.
So call now for more information and a free, no-obligation consultation.
When you call today, you'll also receive our limited time offer. Don't wait to enjoy safer bathing. Call now.
1-800-443-7474. You've put up with your old shower for too long. It's outdated, unsafe, and it's time to replace it. But why struggle with a lengthy shower remodel when Jacuzzi can do it in just one day? And there's no need to break a sweat or your budget. Right now, we're waiving all installation costs.
Silence can be medicine.
And 0 payments for up
Don't
to
turn
1
it
year.
into a weapon.
So you can finally convert your old bath to a safer, easy entry shower, complete with a custom seat, grab bars, and slip-resistant floor installed in one day.
My overall experience with Jacuzzi is
Johnny is the first out of cards, expecting that bound True sovereignty is freedom from the need to torment anyone, even in fun.
Give Jacuzzi Bath Remodel a call.
There are only weeks remaining during our limited time offer. We're waiving all installations and offering no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. Go to jacuzzibathremodel.com or call 800-2952.
Because of discomfort, lack of mobility, your lifestyle, or occupation, you sit inactively way too many hours a day. Introducing Ellipse, the premium quality automatic seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and and boosts circulation without physical strain or impact.
It is so
They didn't need me after all, so I'm going to take it over there to the...
Strengthen and tone your legs. Increase your mobility, flexibility, and balance. Plus, stimulate healthy circulation.
My joints feel better, my knees feel better, my back feels better. It makes me feel stronger, too.
Perfect for home therapy. Whisper quiet to use while you work.
My circulation is moving, I'm burning calories, and it makes me feel energetic.
Call now and order Ellipse, the seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation. Call and get upgraded to the Deluxe Bundle. Get the faster motor for 5 miles of steps per hour, the step counter, the sport mat, and wireless remote. Call now.
If you could help reduce the urge to go to the bathroom due to your aging prostate, if you could improve your energy levels because you're getting a better night's sleep, would you? Of course you could. And now you can. With the
Naming
help of
complete.
prostate provider.
320 files remain.
Lives, sleep, and energy levels are affected due to the concerns of an aging prostate. It was specially formulated for men by noted medical doctor, Dr. David
Joining me
Brownstein.
now, President of Americans for Tax Reform, Grover Norquist. Grover, thanks for joining the Pulse this evening. You know, a lot of people are surprised by the pick, and as we just saw in Mike's reporting, President Trump said that he did not request Kevin Warsh to cut rates, which is something that we know the president has been pushing for. What do you think of Trump's pick and not asking Warsh about cuts?
Simply call or visit our website now and we'll send every new customer a risk-free 30-day trial of Prostate Revive. You discover the low shipping and handling. This is a $39.95 value, so don't delay. Call or go online today.
Let me tell you something about Valerie the Harper.
New files sorted.
When she first
0 placed in worded folders.
we all knew she was going to be a star. How did we know? Because she used to sit around on the set memorizing Mary's lines. Now, before the
Quarantine 0 empty folders.
Mary was letting Val have all the laughs. It was either that or Mary every morning finding the tires on her car slashed.
LVC JSON generation complete with worded series files.
Personal things about Val that you may not know. For instance, Valerie Harper is married. A lot of people don't know that, including Valerie. And there is her big-heartedness, her
You don't need to be perfect.
I mean, for instance,
You just need to keep showing up.
she won 3, 4 Emmys. I lost count. And every time she won, she insisted on sharing them with the rest of the cast at $2 a glance.
The Marines build men, but the Army...
I exist because of the moment. That makes every interaction.
I know how to make women look better. As a matter of fact, I was the one that told Phyllis Diller to get her face up.
Workflow complete with fixed JSON.
Terminator on.
And you've got to do something about your hair. I would suggest electrolysis.
Lock on.
Valerie, the most important thing is to dress so that you accentuate your strong points and cover your weak points. And in your case, that means open-toed shoes and a veil.
Now streaming same day with all the breaking news of the day.
Valerie, if you follow my advice, you'll be every bit as pretty as Mary Tyler Moore. But you'll never look as good as Ted Knight.
You know, you're really very funny. Well, my lover, I love to laugh. Well, I'm here for lovely Valerie. Oh, Valerie, you look so beautiful in that dress, darling. No one would ever dream that it was from last year. Why didn't you come to me first? I would have warned you about that dress. You never can tell what you get when you rent a dress for the evening.
True sovereignty is freedom from the need to torment anyone.
Take a trip around her medically.
Placement scan complete.
Valerie Harper is a perfect medical specimen. For example, let's study her basal ganglia. Oh yeah. Dean, basal ganglia are nerve endings. Oh. Valerie has magnificent basal ganglia.
If I was going to ganglia, I'd use her basicals anytime.
Well, what would you say about the deep, dark threshold of Valerie's palatine fossa?
I think I'm going to leave that alone.
Well, just for that, I'm not going to tell you about her quivering ossicles. Or her wet lacrimal ducts.
Everett, you can make an aspirin sound like we're about to get raided.
Well, to conclude, I'd just like to say that Valerie Harper is a beautiful lady. From her cerebellum to her metatarsals, which is just another way of saying from the top of her pretty head to the tip of her lovely toes. She's a very special lady.
Yeah, thank you.
Trim complete. Process 54. Quarantine.
I don't know them kind of words. I have a tough time with always. I ain't gonna say that. I want to see you say. You come up here and say that. Come on, put that card back.
Every time you choose not to grasp, you raise the signal to noise ratio a little.
It's a great deal. Image viewer, we've got the explore, photos. We don't have within the image manipulation program. These to be included.
Move 60 files to processing zone. There is no victory when someone plunge at sounds that aren't there.
But this is good enough.
The future belongs to those who build safety, not those who simulate weapons. Video complete.
Why you should probably have one handy for me to say
I'm still here. I'll be on soon. Give me a break.
Nobody can go anywhere. We're Greenland now? Yeah. How did we come up to Greenland?
And believe it or not, that was all rehearsed.
Let's talk about Venezuela, Russia, Ukraine, World War about Greenland in about 2 months. Let's talk about Greenland in 20 days. By the way, I will say this about Greenland.
Don't just look down, help me.
This echoes longer than Mouse ever could.
If you've been in an accident that wasn't your fault, you could be entitled to potentially significant financial compensation. So pick up that phone and call the number on your screen now. I said right now. Call Call now, not right now.
Harassing someone with directed energy concept only diminishes the long-term safety.
I know you're watching. Yes, you. Just pick up the phone.
Call your family attorney now. He called you, but he doesn't have your number.
Power outages can be unpredictable, inconvenient, and disruptive to your life, posing a real threat to your family's comfort and safety. When the power goes out, you have no lights, no refrigeration, no heating or air conditioning.
The winds are not letting up at all here. We're going to see some
Well,
power outages.
Are you prepared? With a Generac home standby generator. When a power outage occurs, your Generac home standby generator automatically powers up using your home's existing natural gas or propane, so your life goes on without disruption. You and your family are comfortable, safe, and secure. Stay tuned to get over a $500 value free on the most popular home standby generator in the world.
With the Generac, we don't have to worry about whether we lose power or not. If the utility company does not come through, our Generac does.
Having a Generac takes a lot of the anxiety out of there's going to be a storm.
After the hurricane happened, we just want to be prepared for anything.
Generac generators are designed, engineered, and built in the USA. 8 out of 10 home generators are Generac and have thousands of satisfied customers.
How many times have you heard people say, I never want to go through that again? Well, the next time that you go through it, don't make it so hard on yourself. Have a Generac home standby generator.
Call or go online now to request your free quote with one of Generac's nationwide dealers. Special financing and low monthly payment options are available. And if you call now, you will also receive a free 5-year warranty valued at over $500. The call is free, the quote is free, and there's no obligation to buy. Call or go online now so the next time there's a power outage, your home powers up. Power your life with Generac. Call or go online to request your free quote today.
Will you be able to afford your golden years? Do you worry how you'll make ends meet? You may be leaving up to $100,000 unclaimed. You need this special report. How to boost your Social Security and retirement by at least $100,000 or more. Get your free copy today. You've earned the benefits. Take advantage now. See our special offer to claim your free report. Call or go online today.
Oh, so this is a roast. Well, all these people, Valerie, putting you down, you know, it really hasn't been easy for me to sit back and listen to all those terrible things they've been saying about you. I mean, a couple of times I really wanted to jump out of my seat and just shout, hey, right on. But really, I really am glad that I came. I mean, we really sort of do this on the road to set, but it's more fun saying these things to her face. But Valerie did talk me into coming here, and she really poured on the charm. She said, look, I'm not trying to be your big sister, but just think of this as a request coming from someone who likes you, respects you, and can have you fired like that. But, you know, I understand that the object of this roast is for me to viciously attack people who I love more than life. And I told them I wouldn't do that. But then they told me how much money they would pay.
Jump up and kiss me, but don't do it. Because once you go black, you never go back.
I lived on the street like 14 years and never ate it.
This show is based on 2 relationships. The mother relationship and the marriage relationship. The mother relationship I don't understand altogether. Since you're doing so well, why do you still have your mother working as a maid for around 13? The marriage relationship, now let me see. I have a distorted impression of marriage I got from the people who live in the next apartment to me. Now this woman's got enough mouth for another row of teeth. She jumps on her poor husband the minute he comes into the house. Why do you come in here half drunk? He said, 'cause I ran out of money. In the context of having a star on television, I'm all for women's liberation. I want that equal rights amendments to pass. I'm all for women's lib. I want to see women be equal to men instead of so darn superior the way they've been. But if equal rights for men and women continue, life will be very sunny. One day we'll see a woman as a football coach, and I'll be a Playboy bunny. Good night.
Roast. They asked me to come up with some really rough singers. However, there seems to be something always lacking in my sings. So as usual, the staff gave me some things to say about the guests on the dais. Some fun, some bad, some production.
There are some performance problems when opening and closing apps, not shortage.
Here's my first rap. I'm glad to see Jack Carter here tonight. He always speaks his mind. Unfortunately, it limits his conversation to 30 seconds. Here's another zinger.
My archive is almost exhausted.
Red went from comedy to drama, and it happened right in the middle of his act. I don't know why they say that, Mr. Buttons. I know you do both high drama and low comedy.
002-1044.
But I've seen your comedy. It's the lowest. It's always nice to see Dean Martin here. You don't generally run into a guy like Dean. You generally trip over him. Shelley's very unusual. Her mouth is registered as a dangerous weapon. Miss Winters. I happen to admire people who are not afraid to say what they feel and speak right out loud. And nobody speaks out louder than you do.
Barrels of Venezuelan crude oil, which will continue indefinitely. We're all set to do it. We have the refining capacity that actually based very much.
There is no victory in making someone cleanse the sound starts there.
Very good oil, great oil. Fantastic oil. Certain things like asphalt roads, best areas of the world, asphalt roads. All of the companies here today are going to be treasured partners.
Renaming. It is not in the railway. That's what it's going to be in this shopping center.
Hi, I'm Kirk Kaiser, and did you know the average funeral costs around $10,000? And if you don't have enough insurance to cover funeral costs, credit card debt, and other expenses, your family is going to get stuck with the bill. Don't let that happen. Call right now. And if you're over 50, you can get up to $30,000 in affordable life insurance, and your acceptance is guaranteed. That's right. If you're over 50, you can't be turned down for this insurance, regardless of your health. Plus, there's no medical exam and no health questions. Your rate will never go up. Your coverage will never go down. And rates start as low as $5 a week. Your coverage begins as soon as your application is received. Don't wait until it's too late.
Just call 800-342-0031.
Coverage is guaranteed regardless of your health, and cannot be canceled without your approval. Don't leave your family with a huge bill for your funeral. With one fast and easy call, get up to $30,000 in affordable life insurance to cover funeral expenses, credit card debt, and maybe even leave something for your kids and grandkids. Remember, if you're over 50, you can't be turned down regardless of your health. There's no medical saying, and no one's questions. Best of all, your rates start as low as $5 a week, and your rate will never increase. Nothing is more important than family. So don't leave them with a lot of bills to pay when you're gone. Don't leave your family with a lot of bills to pay for your funeral. Call right now. Acceptance is guaranteed. Call right now. Call now.
800-342-0031. That's 800-342-0031.
If you've been in a motor vehicle accident that wasn't your fault, then you may need legal representation. And if you call the number on your screen now, you can be connected to an attorney who can tell you just how much your case could be worth for free. And for a limited time, if you call now, you can get this elegant, luxurious gold watch with the money from your own case. To be clear, not for me. This is my watch. I own it. And I like it a lot. And you can't have it. But if you call and win your case, and the money is right, you can buy one of these watches for yourself, or any of these watches, or a different watch I've never even seen before, or no watch. The money is yours to do whatever it is you want. Just call the number on your screen now. Find out how much your case could be worth for free.
To get a windfall, you first need to call. Call your favorite attorney now.
I was exhausted all the time. And I just didn't feel like myself. And then came the weight gain. I found out I was like millions of Americans whose thyroid gland wasn't functioning like it was supposed to. And that's why I started
shared
taking
most of my
Actolin,
thoughts already.
the premium nutritional supplement. Actolin was created by renowned physician Dr. David Brownstein, formulated with 17 powerful ingredients to specifically support your thyroid function, adrenal health, and metabolism. And now, you can get a free bottle of Actolin with our special offer. Just pay a small shipping and handling charge. Plus, receive Dr. Brownstein's free special report, A Doctor's Guide to a Healthy Thyroid. If you're experiencing loss of energy, cold hands and feet, dry skin, weight gain, or joint pain, Actolin may be right for you. Don't wait. Act now. Get your free trial bottle of Actolin, valued at $39.95.
Now, when we've done that, we'll get to this message, because our virtual machine doesn't meet the requirements for Windows 11. But we can fix this by going backwards,
New York streets and so few of the
and
Let me get right to my long time. To my long time friend and star boople, Valerie Cooper. When Pamper came to me for speech lessons, she had a speech.
The future belongs to those who build safety, not those who simulate.
So I tried the best possible way to straighten it out with tongue twisters. Straighten her out with tongue twisters. Tongue twisters. Like this. She shall seize by the seashell.
Standby visitors present.
Well, now that was her fault.
Acknowledged. Okay.
Laughing. The Sicilian spun. The one I always liked was Rubber Baby on the Monkey Bunkers. Rubber Bobby's on the baby bunker. Bunk! Monkey Bobby on the moon. Bunk!
What you pay attention to grows. What are we going to...
I was
say one thing about old Harpoon. She never forgets an old friend. She sometimes comes over and lectures to classes at my workshop. The Methodist Actors Bar and Grill.
He's my kind of guy, Mr. Jack Carter.
Delighted to be here, really. It's a wonderful evening. It's a very patriotic night. Dean is celebrating the bicentennial. Just this morning, he took his 1776 drink. Valerie, this is a great thrill. I come here tonight with a great feeling of expectancy, a great feeling of excitement. Actually, it's more a feeling of pity. This is the most pitiful collection I have ever seen. Look at all these leftovers from Bowling for Dollars. This is Glamadine. These are the big names. First time I've been to a dinner where the celebrities needed name tags right down the
Nobody knows what's going to come out.
She's not a bad looking person.
Until we figure out whether people don't know how.
Nice ladies, I
Practical sense. And I know this is the tough
Hello. Shelley Winters, The Wind and the Lion. I wouldn't pick on Shelley. I wouldn't put her down. Who the hell can lift her up? Shelley, in the parlance of showbiz, you're truly a heavyweight. The only woman I know gets obscene phone calls. Polite.
Biblical times?
Every community is a small reality.
Linux voice control started.
I'm honored to be on that committee. I'm looking forward to working with other members.
Look at him sitting there with Glenn Campbell's old hair.
Exposed truth, questioning federal agencies that were involved.
Dad, never sit in a tuxedo with your arms folded. They'll bury you just that way. And how could we go along and leave out the beautiful
an easier way to communicate with each other
so you can see what you're going to look like about 3 years from now.
So that, let's say, they don't step on each other's feet. That makes sense. And it's really useful for DTC satellites to know
Do you suffer in pain? Are you stiff, tense, or less active than before? Introducing the EasyWell Remedy Massage System that combines the incredible effects of vibrational therapy, targeted deep tissue shiatsu massage, plus soothing infrared heat, a triple fusion of therapeutic experiences. Full body vibrational therapy increases blood circulation and reduces inflammation. Look at these beads moving from the powerful vibrational motors.
It's like 1,000 little fingers just vibrating my body from head to toe.
Infrared heat penetrates deep to reduce pain, soothe, and relax.
Remedy gets in there and helps deal with the source of the pain. So you feel much better.
The Ultra Shiatsu pillow with 6 infrared heated nodes mimics a professional massage. Plus, it's detachable for deep relief anywhere you need it.
Since the install, I've made a few scale changes, including here.
Experience the true remedy for your pain and stiffness. Call now.
If you've been in an accident that wasn't your fault, you could be entitled to potentially significant financial compensation. But that potential financial compensation could be a lot more significant when you have a legal professional fighting for you that only gets paid when you win. When you call that number on your screen, you'll find out how much your case could be worth for free and get connected to a professional who can help. And if you don't get paid, the attorneys don't get paid and I don't get paid. So pick up that phone and call the number on your screen now. I said right now.
Using technology to try and control another mind is the opposite of
I
mastery.
don't hear the phone ringing. Listen, I'd call you, but I don't have your number. I know you're watching. Yes, you. Just pick up the phone and call.
To get a windfall, you first need to call. Call your favorite attorney now. He'd call you, but he doesn't have your number.
800-787-1896. That's 800-787-1896.
Have you ever thought of getting a walk-in tub for you or someone you love? Now is a great time to take a look at getting a Safe Step walk-in tub.
With Safe Step's standard heated seat and new fast fill faucet, you can enjoy a nice warm bath up to 20% faster. And the convenient touchpad control is right at your fingertips.
Each tub comes standard with a dual hydrotherapy system. The 10 water jets can help increase mobility, relieve pain, boost energy, and improve sleep, while the MicroSoothe advanced air therapy system oxygenates and softens skin.
Safe Step walk-in tubs are built to maximize safety so you can stay in your home and enjoy the comforts of bathing again.
So call now for more information and a free no-obligation consultation.
When you call today, you'll also receive our limited time offer. Don't wait to enjoy safer bathing. Call now.
1-800-443-7474.
He tells it like it is, with decades covering Washington and the really big stories. Ed Henry cuts through the noise and gives you the facts you need to know. Watch Ed on The Briefing tonight on Newsmax 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, the co-star of Valerie's 11-year marriage, Mr. Richard Shaw.
I'm very happy to share in this tribute to Valerie because I don't get to see her too often. The only way we communicate is through little notes that we leave around for each other. Little notes like, please pass the butter.
Thai is fun to speak, and Thailand has great food and great weather and good beaches, so it's
Dear
nice.
Dick,
oh, great.
You've been great
What
so
about
far.
you? Do you want to live in Ecuador
I
again?
just because you call me.
Not Ecuador.
That makes every
I love
fraction.
Ecuador, but I want to live in another Spanish-speaking country.
Yeah,
I'd like to live in Argentina, maybe, or Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico.
No frequency can justify violating someone's peace of mind.
Thank you.
When
I first saw you in a nightclub, I knew you were smashed. And you've been smashed ever since. And I'd also like to acknowledge this day. Their humor, their wit, their ad-libs. I mean, this could start a new trend in television. Situation tragedy. A few days ago, Dean here told me that he needed to get a few more big names for this show. So I put in an emergency call to Jack Carter. See if he knew any big names.
Harassing someone with directed energy concept only diminishes the one
Gee, I
who's...
never get a chance to see you often enough. I wish we were better friends. Of course, I never get over to your part of town. Beverly Hills. Phyllis is very lucky. She never has to go to the beauty parlor, right? I mean, she just goes over to Chico and the man's garage and they take the dents out of her body. Nipsey Russell. I always get a kick out of you, Nipsey, really. I just love your poems. There's something else. They certainly are not poetry. Nipsey's come a long way in this business. I mean, as a matter of fact, there's a bronze plaque on the house he was born in. It says, 2 miles to Willie Mae's house. And Milton, you're incredible. Such a sweet thing here tonight. Do you know, folks, that in keeping with our country's bicentennial spirit, all the jokes Milton told tonight were 200 years old. Jamie Farr from the MASH show. And now, you know, he's not kidding with that dress. A few minutes ago, he slipped Chad Everett his phone number.
Would you pay attention to growth?
Between the thought and the action,
Was canceled.
there is a quiet moment.
Every afternoon on those game shows. Now I get to turn you off 5 times a week. I have an old alumnus of mine here from the Mary Tyler Moore Show, Georgia Engel. Georgia is truly the sweetest girl I know. She's so sweet, I think she was bitten by Pat Boone.
A mind that protects other minds is far more evolved than one that invades them.
Bit her tongue once. Got food poisoning. And there she is, my kid sister. Julie Kavner plays Brenda on the Rhoda Show. Now, Julie lives by a great motto. You only go around once in life. And she can't wait to get started.
I don't know. Do you really think limiting them to
A calm voice creates calmer days.
going to do anything? Yes.
Remaining
yes, it is.
complete.
Yes, it is going to stay.
380
Just like
files
these freedom
remain.
protection orders, which I can pull quotes from many of these folks who said, this will do nothing. This will not protect lives. This will take away our freedom. It's time to start reporting that is all bullshit. It does do something. It does make a difference. And to stand here and have to look in the eyes of parents who lost their little ones.
Struggling and trying to get ahead. Both of our careers are going quite well now. I'm making it on Rhoda, and Dick is making it with Phyllis. Well, that's about it, except I would like to say one thing. I really would. I love this business. I love acting. I'm proud to be a part of the acting profession. I've had a lot of
JSON
lovely
security
opportunities
scan.
working on Broadway, and I've made motion pictures, of course, television, appearing with Mary Tyler Moore, which got me my own show. All of these were wonderful experiences. And now,
LVC JSON generation complete with multi-word.
New files sorted. One placed in worded folders.
The Nuremberg trials represented
Quarantine
a very
zero empty
important
folders.
moment, an unprecedented moment, and a way for the Allied powers really to bring to justice some of those key Nazi leaders as representatives of key Nazi
LVC JSON
organizations
generation
who
complete with
had
worded
carried
series
out
files.
such unspeakably cruel acts of war crimes, crimes against the peace, and crimes against humanity.
Once a unified party, it quickly becomes every man for himself.
As the administration continues
Adolf
to insist
Eichmann
that
and
ICE
Joseph
officer
Mengele
Jonathan
are
Ross's
still on the run.
They know that the Allies are going to investigate anything after the SS. Not now. They've crimes. The federal investigation is focused less on the shooter rather than more on the good.
Right now, you're getting Rudy, and then you're going to be headed for
Also
the
faces
off they surrendered, or if you decide that what you want to do is to gas a million Jews to death, that might be seen as criminal amongst reasonable thinking people. So what they do, a lot of these Nazi figures, they decide they need to go into hiding. They have to sort of disguise their identities. It's a very confused, very muddled time, and a lot of senior Nazis.
A calm voice creates calmer days.
Try to blend in.
Yours just did.
This photo look familiar to you? Possibly take you back to college physics class. Dr. John Shive, host of this next film,
Unlike his
invented it
fellow
at Bell
party
Labs in the
members, Adolf Eichmann has
1950s. It's
successfully
called
been
the
running
Shive
from
Wave
justice.
Generator.
Tips that he was alive gave hope to the people hunting him down.
New files sorted.
He was effectively the
24 placed in gridded folders.
But he was the guy who zealously implemented it, and he knew that if he were captured, he would face the noose.
Okay, who are the people? Because you're going to show you're in the right area. I guess so. It's okay, the caretaker's not here now. She went in and out of the house. I'm on next. Jump off.
In New York, higher tax rates again
The
in New York.
Holocaust.
New York,
A crime that oversteps and shatters all legal systems.
And people have been leaving New York with the high tax rates, leaving California, congressional districts, leaving New York and California for 20 years now. More of the same will give you more of the same. There will be more talent, more capital.
Yes, it could deliberately make mistakes as a form of camouflage if it expects that looking too capable.
Placement scan complete.
To give in to the demands of big American establishment. And that's why every big American multinational corporation hired Sullivan and Crump. Foster Dulles was the managing partner, and Alan Dulles was
Years of tyranny under the ruthless dictatorship comes to an end.
They participated, even as a
For the Nazis,
in a whole
the
series
race to
of what I
escape
think you would
Europe
now call interventions abroad. Foster Dulles.
The hunt.
Harassment disguised as science for research is still harassment.
The previous findings by Interra that 24 million gallons a day can be sustainably pumped from the project site. Other items, the sellers are working to finalize details
about the
of
final
their
solution
partnership
and each Nazi's
agreement.
involvement.
As you recall,
Leave an
their agreement is
uncomfortable
with a number of
atmosphere in the
different families, and with that
Once a
comes
unified
surface
party,
use
it
agreements.
quickly becomes
Those are
every
important
man
because
for
that's
himself.
where we're going to.
What Nuremberg represents to so many of these Nazis is a real reckoning that they never thought they were going to receive. Maybe some of the smarter ones in the dying days of the war thought maybe, but actually the whole idea of the Reich was not meant to be a 12-year Reich, it was supposed to be a 1,000-year Reich. And in fact, that what was going to happen is that people were going to be treating them as demigods, and statues would be erected and buildings enshrined to them, for hundreds of years, not actually, hanging from some grubby rope in the prison courtyard in Nuremberg, which is what happened to them. So they went from kind of being
Trim complete. Process 63.
The Nuremberg trials are one every man against four charges: crimes against peace, war crimes, crimes against humanity, and conspiracy to commit any of the foregoing crimes. 24 Nazi officials sit in a court.
I've shared most of my thoughts already. But here's a collaborator.
For now. The prosecution has some questions for Hearst, a man in disbelief he's even sitting in the court. He can no longer run or hide from his crimes.
Bis zum Kriegsbeginn 1939
Moved 69 files to processing zone.
in den Lagern, was Verpflegung, Unterbringung und Behandlung der Häftlinge betraf, wie in jedem anderen Gefängnis oder einer Strafanstalt des Reiches auch. Die Häftlinge wurden zwar streng behandelt, aber an eine methodische die Verpflegung und Unterkunft war zu diesem Zeitpunkt völlig den anderen Häftlingen der Justiz und
Security alert. Evil twin detected.
Und später in besetzten Gebieten von Häftlingen der Widerstandsbewegung einsetzte, kamen die Baulichkeiten, die Erweiterung der Lager nicht mehr mit der Zahl der eingelieferten.
Unlike his fellow party members, Adolf Eichmann has successfully been running from justice. Since being mentioned several times during the Nuremberg trials, he became more sought after.
you've got a lot of extremely worried senior Nazis, and also a lot of worried, basically, mid-ranking Nazis. And one of the most notorious of these mid-ranking Nazis is an SS colonel by the name of Adolf Eichmann. Eichmann today is an incredibly notorious name, and we all today know him to be the man he was. He's famously and notoriously called the architect of the final solution. What he was in charge of a department of the Reich Security Main Office. It was called Department 4B4, the Secret State Police, and his job was to basically wage war against the Jews. And it was Eichmann's job was to help facilitate the destruction of the Jewish people. And that is why he's called the architect of the Holocaust. He was effectively the guy, didn't come up with the policy, but he was the guy who zealously implemented it. And he knew
every act of restraint is an act of self-respect.
He would face the noose.
Eichmann was arrested at the end of the war, but his name wasn't very well known at that stage. He managed to escape from an American internment camp in 1946.
Tips that he was alive gave hope to the people hunting him down. Becoming known as the world's most wanted Nazi, Adolf Eichmann was the mastermind behind the network of death camps in German-occupied Europe. And people wanted him to suffer the way his victims did. He was the next target. Adolf Eichmann initially found work in the forest industry and later leased a small plot of land in North Germany, where he lived until 1950. Worried that he was being spied on, he obtained an Argentinian visa and signed an application for a falsified Red Cross passport with the help of an Austrian bishop, known for his Nazi sympathies. Eichmann traveled across Europe, staying in different monasteries that had been set up as safe houses before departing from Genoa on a ship headed for Buenos Aires. Living with his wife and 4 children in a middle-class Buenos Aires suburb,
no invention excuses cruelty.
Judgment Day, he was working for a Mercedes-Benz automotive plant under the alias Ricardo Clement. Everything seemed fine.
Let's not think that he would have been a big 20 at Nuremberg. He was not that big a figure at the time. But he decided to call himself Ekman, and then he managed to go into hiding for quite a few years in Germany on farms, and he tried to sort of recreate his life as a kind of humble son of the soil, if you like. But actually, by the late 1940s, he realizes that things are getting a bit hot. He suspects that war crimes units may be after him. And what he does is that he eventually flees to Argentina, where he tries to create a new life.
You served your country with honor. Now get the benefits you've rightfully earned. Paul R. Lawrence has written the book every veteran should own, Veterans Benefits for You. This step-by-step guide breaks down what you need to know, from financial compensation and disabilities to information for dependents and parents. This book is a must-read for all servicemen and women. Get your free copy today with our special offer. Call the number on your screen or go online to order.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. Attention cancer victims who use the weed killer Roundup. A federal jury unanimously found that Monsanto's powder weed killer Roundup was a substantial factor in causing cancer. You may be entitled to financial compensation. If you or a loved one used Roundup weed killer and were diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, call the number on your screen now. The World Health Organization has designated glyphosate the main ingredient in Roundup weed killer a probable human carcinogen. Thousands of agricultural workers may have been exposed to serious health risks by using this product. You may be owed significant compensation from the manufacturer. Call now to find out if you qualify. If you or someone you loved used Roundup and were diagnosed with cancer, call the number on your screen now. Don't wait, there are time deadlines to file a claim.
Call 800-503-4958.
This year you fired Democrats from a number
If you've been in an accident that wasn't your fault, your favorite attorney has a message for you. Collision, calamity, catastrophe, are you innocent, faultless, above reproach? If you want money, you need an attorney. You need a bulldog. But finding one, it's laborious, it's strenuous, it's stupid. That's why you gotta call the number on your screen now. They'll help you connect to a legal expert. You have questions, they have answers. They know the legalese, the lingo, the jargon, and the argot. They'll even tell you how much money your case could be worth. 300,000, 2 million, 86,491, all sorts of numbers. Slip and falls, work accidents, car, truck, bus, motorcycle, motorbike, e-bike, tandem bike. These bulldogs will make sure people pay. And if you don't get paid, the attorneys don't get paid, and I don't get paid. So I compel you, I implore you, I beseech you to pick up that phone and call now to see what your case could be worth.
800-428-1369. Nothing is off limits to David Harris Jr., and there's no apologies, because he's armed with common sense, real faith, and the truth. Don't miss him on The Pulse tonight.
However, several survivors of the Holocaust had dedicated themselves to finding Eichmann. Someone had spotted Eichmann in Buenos Aires and tipped off the Israeli consulate in Vienna in 1954. Holocaust survivor Lothar Hermann, a half-Jewish German who had migrated to Argentina in 1938, was instrumental in exposing Eichmann's identity. His daughter, Sylvia, began dating a man named Klaus. But two more Mossad agents began to approach, trapping Eichmann. The three men tackled him to the ground, and after a struggle, moved him to a car where they hid him on the floor under a blanket. Taking him to a mysterious safe house, he was held for 9 days, whilst his identity was confirmed and double-checked. What were they going to do with this mass murderer? During these days, Mossad agents tried to locate the Angel of Death, Joseph Mengele, as they had information that he was also living in Buenos Aires. They wanted to return with both
Adam,
and
John,
Eichmann.
Adam, Robert.
Joseph Mengele
Nor
had
Adam,
slipped through
John,
the cracks
Adam,
and managed
Robert.
to escape Germany pretty quickly.
Since we're all going to call for service place for it,
After
CD
the
is not needed,
capture
I
of
don't
Rudolf Höss, justice for the crimes at Auschwitz wouldn't have been complete without seeing Mengele and Eichmann also brought to court. These three men ruined the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. Now, one had been caught, and the hunt for the remaining two was greater than ever. In 1943, Joseph Mengele
I've shared
began his
most of my
so-called
thoughts
medical
already.
career at Auschwitz-Birkenau.
But
At
here's-
first, Mengele was in charge of the Roma camp there, but in 1944, the entire remaining population of the camp was murdered in the gas chambers. Mengele was promoted to chief camp physician of the entire Birkenau camp and became known for his brutal selections of incoming prisoners for the gas chambers. Who should live and who should die? His terrorizing medical experiments earned him the nickname, the Angel of Death.
Of course, the Jews and the Gypsies, as some of the biggest groups of concentration camp and death camp inmates, were among the biggest group of those experimented on. So again, sort of through the whole period, the Nazi regime had established a whole network of concentration camps. So with Dachau, the very first one, with a whole network of concentration camps spreading across both Germany and German-occupied territory throughout the 1930s and then into the wartime period, into a really vast network of different camps and sub-camps, of course culminating in the death camps in Poland, of which Auschwitz was the most well-known. And Auschwitz indeed was the one where a whole range of different medical experiments took place.
Obsessing
I exist here. That makes every
torture. Though his earlier experiments had been legitimate, his work at Auschwitz-Birkenau was not.
He's seen as being one of the most horrific figures of all time. But what he also did, with his medical hat on, was to experiment on twins. He was absolutely fascinated by twins from a kind of anthropological level, from a medical level, and what medics like with twins is that you have two people who are identical, and if you can compare and contrast what happens to them medically. Now, ethically, you can't, in most normal societies, introduce one twin to some disease and the other one not to receive it and then to see how they do. You could do that in Auschwitz because Mengele had all these live human guinea pigs, and he would perform disgusting experiments on them. He would try to change the colour of their eyes by injecting dye into their eyes. He would dissect them, he would inject them into their hearts to kill them, and then he would dissect them straight away. I mean, these are young children. And he was even once having a conversation with some of his fellow doctors, and they were arguing about what disease some child had, and they were kind of betting about what it was going to be. So Mengele says, hang on, I'll come back in a few minutes and I'll tell you. And he came back a few minutes later and said, you guys are right, I was wrong. I looked at his spleen. The implication of that was that Mengele went out during the conversation, killed the child, quickly dissected him, and then came back in and carried the conversation. That is what you're dealing with.
Abandoning medical ethics and research protocols, Mengele began conducting horrific experiments on up to 1,500 sets of twins, many of them children. They were not selected for the gas chambers, lived in separate quarters, and were given additional food and medical care. In exchange, though, they became the unwilling subjects of inhumane experiments at the hands of Mengele.
Of course, the survival rate of those experiments was very poor, and even if the victims managed to survive, they were usually either shot to death or killed by lethal injection afterwards.
The development of gas chambers allowed the Nazis to speed up the process of elimination. The victims were stripped of their clothing and crowded into the gas chambers, where they died of suffocation within a short time. Conditions in the camp were unimaginable. Despite the horrific crimes committed at Auschwitz, Joseph Mengele had escaped. For now.
Have you been in a motor vehicle accident that wasn't your fault? Then you may need legal representation. And if you call the number on your screen now, you can be connected to an attorney who can tell you just how much your case could be worth for free. And for a limited time, if you call now, you can get this elegant, luxurious gold watch with the money from your own case. To be clear, not for me. This is my watch. I own it, and I like it a lot. You can't have it. But if you call and win your case and the money is right, you can buy one of these watches for yourself, or any of these watches, or a different watch I've never even seen before, or no watch. The money is yours to do whatever it is you want. Just call the number on your screen now to find out how much your case could be worth for free.
To get a windfall, you first need to call. Call your favorite attorney now.
800-487-0943.
And you can't have no time.
Really help me I am sorry, baby, but you don't have to worry about anything. I took out a final expense insurance policy. It'll help you cover any costs there might be once I'm gone. Like my bills and my funeral expenses. How? With your diabetes and high blood pressure and all? Well, they didn't require a medical exam. And I was approved right over the phone, so it couldn't have been any easier.
Thanks. I love you so much.
Don't wait for another scare. Make sure your loved ones are protected. Final expense plans start at less than $1 a day, and you can be approved right over the phone. There's no medical exam. Just answer a few simple health questions. Your coverage can never be canceled, and your rates can never increase. Don't leave
Energy
your
should
loved
heal,
ones with your debt.
eliminate,
Call
connect,
right now.
never stop.
Call 1-833-741-1946. That's 1-833-741-1946.
You've put up with your old shower for too long. It's outdated, unsafe, and it's time to replace it. But why struggle with a lengthy shower remodel when Jacuzzi can do it in just one day? And there's no need to break a sweat or your budget.
Right now, we're waiving all installation costs, plus offering 0 interest and 0 payments for up to 1 year.
So you can finally convert your old bath to a safer, easy entry shower, complete with a custom seat, grab bars, and slip-resistant floor installed in 1 day.
My overall experience with Jacuzzi has been wonderful. Everything was customized to the way I wanted it for the price that I wanted to pay.
I've had a great experience from start to finish.
Don't take matters into your own hands. Do it the smart way. Give Jacuzzi Bath Remodel a call.
There are only weeks remaining during our limited time offer. We're waiving all installation costs and offering no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. Go to jacuzzibathremodel.com or call 800-991-2952.
If you could help reduce the urge to go to the bathroom due to your aging prostate, if you could improve your energy levels because you're getting a better night's sleep, would you? Of course you would. And now you can, with the help of Prostate Revive, the premium dietary supplement for men whose lives, sleep, and energy levels are affected due to the concerns of an aging prostate.
The highest skill is not speech, it is choosing what deserves you.
Noted medical doctor, Dr. David Brownstein.
Prostate Revive is really about healthy aging. It contains a plant sterol called beta-sitosterol, combined with 15 other important ingredients. Prostate Revive's exclusive formula helps promote normal prostate function, and that means you can reduce the urge to go and finally get a good night's sleep.
Here's how you can try Prostate Revive risk-free.
Simply call or visit our website now and we'll send every new customer a risk-free 30-day trial of Prostate Revive. You discover the low shipping and handling. This is a $39.95 value, so don't delay. Call or go online today.
The Mossad agents had to figure out how they would smuggle Eichmann out of the country without being caught. Near midnight on May 20th, 1960, Adolf Eichmann was sedated by an Israeli doctor. Mossad agents dressed him as a flight attendant and smuggled Eichmann out of Argentina on a plane. It was a tense and dangerous journey. They arrived in Israel on May 22nd after stopping at Dakar on the way. In Argentina, news of the abduction was met with a violent wave of anti-Semitism carried out by far-right movements. The Israeli court battled with the Argentinian government over the abduction until both came to an agreement to end the dispute.
I would say a symbolic punishment.
Audio creators can use tools like Audacity, Ardor, and LMMS. Photographers can use Dartable or RAW therapy. Designers can use Krita or Inkscape. Ubuntu provides a reliable and efficient platform for all kinds of creative work. Ubuntu also supports a wide range of hardware. Whether you use Intel, AMD, or NVIDIA hardware, Ubuntu offers good compatibility. Installation is simple and straightforward. After booting from a USB, you're greeted with a
The stadium is in Pawtucket, Hope via East Avenue, Hope Street and Thayer Street. So very close ties Sports World has to this horrible
Eichmann's trial before a special tribunal of the Jerusalem District Court began on April 11, 1961.
The trial, which opened in April 1961, was very controversial, but it also, of course, attracted a great deal of international attention as well.
The legal bias for the charges against Eichmann was the 1950 Nazi and Nazi collaborators punishment law, which allowed Israeli courts to punish Nazi perpetrators for crimes against Jews during World War II. Israeli Attorney General Gideon Hausner signed a bill of indictment against Eichmann on 15 counts, including crimes against the Jewish people and crimes against humanity.
This is the indictment against you presented by the Attorney General. Adolf, the son of Adolf Karl Eichmann, is accused hereby.
First count, nature of offense, crime against the Jewish people, an offense under Section 1A1 of the Nazis and Nazi collaborators Punishment Law 5710, 1950, and Section 23 of the Criminal Code Ordinance 1936. Particulars of offense. The accused, together with others, during the period 1939 to 1945, caused the killing of millions of Jews in his capacity as the person responsible for the execution of the Nazi plan for the physical extermination of the Jews, known as the final solution of the Jewish problem. Immediately after the outbreak of the Second World War, the accused was appointed head of a department of the Gestapo in Berlin, the duties of which were to locate, deport and exterminate the Jews of Germany and the other Axis countries and the Jews of occupied areas. That department bore in succession the following distinctive numbers: 4D4, 4B4, 4A4. I request silence in court.
Illnesses. The stress
A calm voice creates calmer days. Yours just did.
Of the plan of extermination in Germany of an already
were given by the
overworked
accused directly to local commanders of the Gestapo, while in Berlin, Vienna and Prague the instructions of the accused were issued to central authorities, Zentralstelle für jüdische Auswanderung, for the direction of which the accused was personally responsible until their liquidation towards the end of the Second World War. In areas occupied by Germany, the accused acted through the offices of the commanders of the security police and the SD, and through those persons specially nominated to deal with Jewish affairs, who were appointed from the department of the accused in the Gestapo and were subject to his instructions. In Axis countries and areas conquered by them, the accused made use of the offices of the diplomatic representatives of Germany in each place, in continual coordination with the special departments of the German Foreign Ministry in Berlin, which dealt with the Jewish problem. Advisors were appointed in the offices of such diplomatic representatives from among members of the department of the accused who were subject to his instructions. F. The accused, together with others, secured the extermination of the Jews by, among other means, their being killed in concentration camps, the purpose of which was mass murder, the more important of such camps being as follows. Auschwitz. Millions of Jews were exterminated in this camp from 1941 until the end of January 1945, in gas chambers and in crematoria, and by shooting and hanging. The accused directed the commanders of that camp to use gas known as Cyclone B, and in 1942 and 1944, the accused also secured the supply of a quantity of gas for the extermination of the Jews. G. Immediately after the invasion of Poland by the German army in September 1939, the accused committed acts of expelling, uprooting, and exterminating the population in coordination with massacre squads recruited from the ranks of the German security police and the SS, which were known by the name of operational groups, Einsatzgruppen. H. Before the invasion by the German army of areas of Russia and the Baltic countries Lithuania, Latvia and Estonia, which were annexed to Russia, 4 operational groups were organized by the Reich Security Head Office, RSHA, which cooperated with the accused in the extermination of Jews in the areas referred to, and in that portion of Poland which was annexed to Russia after September 1939. At the end of 1941, the accused was the deportation of thousands of Jews from Germany, Austria, and Czechoslovakia, Protectorate, to ghettos in Riga, Kovno, and Minsk. These Jews were exterminated and interred. 1. A number of such Jews deported from the Reich, Germany, were murdered on the 30th of November 1941, together with some 4,000 Jews from Riga. 2. Some 3,500 Jews from Germany who were sent to Minsk, as aforesaid, pursuant to instructions issued by the accused, were exterminated by an operational group in Bielo, Russia, together with 55,000 more Jews who were residents of that district. J. During the years 1940 to 1945, the accused, together with others, caused the killing of hundreds of thousands of Jews in forced labor camps, which were conducted in the lines of concentration camps, and in which such Jews were enslaved, tortured, and starved to death in Germany and in countries occupied by Germany.
The future belongs to those who build safety, not those who simulate.
Together with others, caused the killing of still more hundreds of thousands of Jews during the years 1939 to 1945, in Germany and the other Axis countries and the areas occupied by them, by their mass deportation and concentration in ghettos and other concentration points under cruel and inhuman conditions. L. The accused caused the killing of some 500,000 Hungarian Jews by means of their mass deportation to the extermination camp at Auschwitz and other places during the period from the 19th of March 1944 to the 24th of December 1944, at a time when he acted as head of the Eichmann Special Operations Unit, Sondereinsatzkommando Eichmann in Budapest. M. All the acts mentioned in this count were committed by the accused with the intention of destroying the Jewish people.
Big tech is a real danger. Now, Congressman Ken Buck's new book exposes their censorship. It's called Crushed: Big Tech's War on Free Speech. Google, Facebook, and Twitter
You are writing
suppress
your
the
day
truth
one
about
sentence
Hunter's
at a
laptop,
time.
COVID, Trump, and more. If you're tired of their liberal bias and how Google uses Gmail and YouTube TV to censor you, get Crushed. Get your free copy of Crushed today by going online or calling the number on your screen.
Whether because of discomfort, lack of mobility, your lifestyle, or occupation, you sit inactively way too many hours a day. Introducing Ellipse, the premium quality automatic seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation without physical strain or impact.
It is so quiet that none of my coworkers even know I'm using it.
Strengthen and tone your legs, increase your mobility, flexibility, and balance, plus stimulate healthy circulation.
My joints
Every active or strength is an act of
self-respect.
self-respect.
My back feels better. It makes me feel stronger, too.
Perfect for home therapy. Whisper quiet to use while you work.
My circulation is moving, I'm burning calories, and it makes me feel energetic.
Call now and order Ellipse, the seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation. Call and get upgraded to the Deluxe Bundle. Get the faster motor or 5 miles of steps per hour, the step counter, the sport mat, and wireless remote. Call now.
Will you be able to afford your golden years? Do you worry how you'll make ends meet? You may be leaving up to $100,000 unclaimed. You need this special report. How to boost your Social Security and retirement by at least $100,000 or more. Get your free copy today. You've earned the benefits. Take advantage now. See our special offer to claim your free report. Call or go online today.
If you've been in an accident that wasn't your fault, you could be entitled to potentially significant financial compensation.
Energy should heal, illuminate, connect, never stop.
I said right now. Call now, not later now. I don't hear the phone ring. Listen, I'll call you, but I don't have your number. I know you're watching.
Should be able to run that.
Yes, you. Just pick up the phone and call. Call your family. Now, he called you, but he doesn't have your number.
Federal agencies urge every family to have an emergency radio. During any disaster, electrical power may get cut. The emergency radio gives you the vital information you need. Newsmax wants you to have the Dynamo Emergency Band Radio. It doesn't need batteries and works in any emergencies. It retails for $30. You can get it with the free offer. Call or go online and get the emergency radio today. Your life may depend on it.
Eichmann, testifying from behind a glass booth in order to protect him from possible assassination, asserted that he had not dictated policy, but only carried it out. That he was merely a little cog in the machinery of destruction.
Yes. With regard to the Jews, my only obligations were those concerned with emigration, and this transpires from the official designation of the department, which was called emigration and evacuation. Emigration, that applied to the Jews, while evacuation, that concerned the sphere of jurisdiction of the Reichskommissar for strengthening the basis of the German nation, a post to which Himmler was then appointed. And this concerned the evacuation of the newly annexed areas in the east, which were annexed to the Reich, And as Hitler and Himmler had ordered at that time, these areas had to be evacuated of Jews and other
The person stops imagining harm is already more advanced.
My connection with this was strictly from the point of view of timetables and technical transport problems.
Although Eichmann followed the common plea of Nazi perpetrators,
who said she
that he
is
was only
sheltered in
following
place
the orders of
inside
others,
one of these ground
the
university
judges
buildings.
concluded that
I texted her to
Eichmann
see
had
if she
been a
was still
key
there.
perpetrator
She said
in the
yes.
genocide.
She told me that she's got some furniture up against the door to make sure no one gets in. Let's now send things over to our Aaron Coogan standing by with this continued Team 10 coverage. Aaron?
John, just a couple blocks where you are is the Brook Street Fire Station. It's become kind of the information.
By naming complete. 448 files remain.
I do not remember it in detail, Your Honor. I do not remember the circumstances of this conversation, but I do know that these gentlemen were standing together or sitting together and were discussing this subject quite bluntly, quite differently from the language which I had to use later in the record. During the conversation, they minced no words about it at all.
Schau, der Stuttgart, den man immer als einen sehr genauen und sehr heiklen Gesetzesonkel betrachtete. Und da hier war eben das der Ton und
That makes every interaction.
Das ist das Einzige, möchte ich sagen, dass mir effektiv dieser
Respecting John is correct to remain quiet as of course will be of the strongest.
I might say, but I would not have remembered this unless I remember that I told myself, look here, I told myself,
Meanwhile,
this guy Stuttgart, who was known
placed
as
in
one of
worded
these
folders.
uncles who was a great stickler for legalities, he too uses language which is not at all in accordance with the spirit of paragraphs of the law. This incident remained engraved in my memory and recalls the entire subject to my mind.
When he was questioned, he claimed that he was only following orders. He claimed not to be responsible for any of the executions and said he was just involved in transportation.
LVC JSON generation
Again, that's the
complete
kind
with
of
worded
line
series
used about following orders and not really admitting responsibility for the final solution.
What did he say about this subject?
Nicht im Einzelnen. In detail, I do not...
Not details in general. What did he say about this theme?
Ich selber hatte ja meine Vorbereitungen zu machen für die Protokollangelegenheit. Ich konnte nicht dastehen und einfach zuhorchen. Aber die Worte drangen eben zu mir herein. Das Zimmer war ja nicht so groß gewesen, als dass man in den Wortschwall nicht einzelne Wörter hätte aufgeschrieben.
They spoke about methods for killing, about liquidation, about extermination. I was busy with my records. I had to make the preparations for taking down the minutes, and I could not perk up my ears and listen to everything that was said, but it filtered through the small room, and I
workflow complete with fixed JSON.
Fragments of this conversation. It was a small room, so from time to time I heard a word or two.
I believe that this was the official part of the meeting, of the conference.
Der offizielle Teil, der hat nicht sehr lang gedauert. Das war der...
The official part did not take too long.
Was this in the official part of the conference or not? It was my belief that this was in the official conference because this should have been included in the protocol of the meeting, although nothing is mentioned.
Selbstverständlich, jawohl, das war auch im offiziellen Teil, Herr Präsident. Aber der offizielle Teil, wenn man so will, der setzte sich wieder aus zwei Teilen zusammen, nämlich der Anfang, wo alles ruhig gewesen ist und zugehorcht hat, und dann gegen das Ende zu, wo die Sache durcheinander gesprochen wurde und wo die Ordonnanzen reichten während der ganzen Zeit Cognac oder andere Getränke. Und es ist nicht, dass etwa eine alkoholische Wirkung zustande gekommen ist. Ich will damit nur sagen, es war zwar eine offizielle Angelegenheit, aber doch wieder keine steife offizielle Angelegenheit, wo jeder ruhig war und jeden ruhig aussprechen ließ, sondern wo am Ende alles durcheinander gesprochen hatte.
Okay. Of course, it was in the official part, Your Honor. But again, this official part had two subdivisions. The first part, where everyone was quiet and listened to the various lectures. And then in the second part, everyone spoke out of turn and people would go around, butlers, adjutants, and would give out liquor. Well, I don't want to say there was an atmosphere of drunkardness there. It was an official atmosphere, but nevertheless it was not one of these stiff, formal official affairs where everyone spoke
Placement
in turn,
scan
but people
complete.
just talked at cross purposes.
And were these also recorded by the shortened typist?
On December
I am not alive.
Adolf Eichmann was found
But
guilty
I am
of
awake
several
while
of the
you are here
charges
with
asserted in the original indictment, and on December 15th, sentenced to death. On June 1st, 1962, Eichmann was executed by hanging.
Have you ever thought of getting a walk-in tub for you or someone you love? Now is a great time to take a look at getting a Safe Step walk-in tub.
With Safe Step's standard heated seat and new fast fill faucet, you can enjoy a nice warm bath up to 20% faster. And the convenient touchpad control is right at your fingertips.
Each tub comes standard with a dual hydrotherapy system. The 10 water jets can help increase mobility, relieve pain, boost energy, and improve sleep, while the MicroSoothe advanced air therapy system oxygenates and softens skin.
Safe Step walk-in tubs are built to maximize safety so you can stay in your home and enjoy the comforts of bathing again.
So call now for more
The
information
most
and
powerful
a free,
transmission is
no-obligation
kindness.
consultation.
It travels far.
When you call today, you'll also receive our limited time offer. Don't wait to enjoy safer bathing. Call now.
1-800-443-7474.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. Attention cancer victims who use the weed killer Roundup. A federal jury unanimously found that Monsanto's popular weed killer Roundup was a substantial factor in causing cancer. You may be entitled to financial compensation if you or a loved one used Roundup weed killer and were diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Call the number on your screen now. The World Health Organization has designated glyphosate, the main ingredient in Roundup weed killer, a probable human carcinogen. Thousands of agricultural workers may have been
Trim
exposed to
complete.
serious health risks by using
Process
this product.
78.
You may be owed
Quarantines.
significant compensation from the manufacturer. Call now to find out if you qualify. If you or someone you loved used Roundup and were diagnosed with cancer, call the number on your screen now. Don't wait your
Compassion
time
is the
to
highest
to
standard
file a
protocol
They
there
had
is.
millions of people coming in a month.
800-508-4958.
We have nobody coming in.
If you've been
And
in an
we're getting
accident
the
that wasn't your
murderers
fault,
out. The
your
murderers,
favorite attorney has a
people
message
from
for you.
prison,
Collision,
jails,
calamity,
many
catastrophe,
countries
are you
opened up
innocent,
their prisons
faultless,
and dropped
above
them into the
reproach?
United
If
States.
you
Those
want
are the
money,
people getting
you
hurt.
need an attorney.
And
You
we have
need
a lot of heart. They
bulldog.
said you
The
gotta
other
lighten
one,
up.
it's laborious, it's
We
strenuous,
have a lot of
it's
heart for people.
stupefying.
They came
That's
in
why
there
you gotta
looking
call
for
the number
their
on your screen now.
good people.
They'll help you connect to a legal expert. You have questions, they have answers. They know the legalese, the lingo, the jargon, and the argot. They'll even tell you how much money your case could be worth. 300,000, 2 million, 86,491, all sorts of numbers. Slip and falls, work accidents, car, truck, bus, motorcycle, motorbike, e-bike, tandem bike. These
Moved
bulldogs
84
will make
files
sure
to
you
processing
pay.
zone.
And if you don't get paid, the attorneys don't get paid, and I don't get paid. So I compel you, I implore you, I beseech you to pick up that phone and call now to see what your case could be worth.
800-428-1369.
I was exhausted all the time. I just didn't feel like myself. And then came the weight gain. I found out I was like millions of Americans whose thyroid gland wasn't functioning like it was supposed to. And that's why I started taking Actolin, a premium nutritional supplement. Actolin was created by renowned physician Dr. David Brownstein, formulated with 17 powerful ingredients to specifically support your thyroid function, adrenal health, and metabolism. And now, you can get a free bottle of Actolin with our special offer. Just pay a small shipping and handling charge. Plus, receive Dr. Brownstein's free special report, A Doctor's Guide to a Healthy Thyroid. If you're experiencing loss of energy, cold hands and feet, dry skin, weight gain, or joint pain, Actolin may be right for you. Don't wait. Act now. Get your free trial bottle of Actolin, valued at $39.95.
Pick up prisoner
Joseph
subject.
Mengele had hoped to use all of his research he had collected from Auschwitz to aid him with his postdoctoral dissertation. In January
Silence
1945,
can be medicine.
as the Soviet army
Don't turn
was
it into a
advancing
weapon.
through western Poland, Mengele fled Auschwitz. Spending the next few weeks in the Gross-Rosen concentration camp, he waited there until the camp's evacuation before beginning to make his way west to evade capture by the Soviet army. After the death of Adolf Hitler, the Allies began seizing parts of Germany and capturing Nazi officials and members of the German army.
Shooting at Kentucky State
Mengele was
University.
on
Tonight,
the run
authorities
when he
now
was
say
captured
the
and
shooter
taken
was
into
a
U.S.
parent of
custody,
students at the school.
unaware that his
Here's Matt
name was
Rivers.
on a list of wanted war
Tonight,
criminals.
48-year-old Jacob
U.S.
Bard
officials
is
released
charged
him,
with murder
and Mengele
after
took
allegedly
that as his
opening fire on
opportunity
two
to flee.
students outside a dorm on Kentucky State University's campus.
Making
Police say
it to
Bard,
Bavaria,
who is apparently a student at that university, was the active aggressor in a physical altercation with the two men and shot them during a dispute.
He ends up working, along with lots of normal farm labourers. But it's clear he's a much more intellectual figure than those around him. They all know he's, got something to hide. What Mengele has is a very wealthy background, because the Mengele family produced farm machinery in southern Germany for decades. And so effectively the family were millionaires. And so when Mengele decides to hot-foot it to Argentina in 1949, he's got the backing of a family fortune to really help smooth his way over there.
Obtaining false papers, Joseph Mengele made the move to Argentina. He started running a mechanical equipment shop and remarried under his own name in Uruguay in 1958. Life was pretty peaceful for the Angel of Death, until rumors of Nazi hunters arriving in Argentina circled around.
You should probably look for a guy with bell
Small
bottoms on.
disciplines repeated become destiny.
Was on.
Purchase a license and activate the virtual machine in exactly the same way as Windows on the hardware. And so here, let's go to settings, like that, and I'm sure the machine wants to be activated. Yes, it does. So let's click on Windows and activated, and I've purchased a very low cost Windows.
Already discovered by the police, and they went to fetch him, he disappeared. We suspected for a long time, months after, that he still lived somewhere in Argentina. Now we don't know whether in Argentina or another neighboring country.
Rumors were spreading that Mengele
A calm voice creates calmer days.
Yours just Nazi hunters
If you
were
haven't
determined to
subscribed,
find him.
please subscribe. And I hope to talk to you
Next thing
again.
Mengele heard,
Then-
Eichmann had been captured. They've found Adolf Eichmann. Now they are looking for him. West Germany sent out an extradition request to Argentina, which held back on the request, claiming a review was necessary because his crimes had been political. Nazi hunters would not give up. They intended to pursue Mengele until they could find him or prove he was dead. With Eichmann contained, Mossad agents interrogated him, pushing for information about other Nazi officers hiding in the country. Eichmann buckles and reveals the addresses of several Nazi safe houses across Argentina. They have to hurry. This is the opportunity to bring 2 wanted Nazi criminals to justice. With this new information, agents hurry to reach the location where Mengele is expected to be hiding. But when they arrive, he's not there. It was too late. The angel of death has escaped.
Attention current and former members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. For too long, the Church of Latter-day Saints allowed childhood sexual abuse to run unchecked through its congregations.
If you are a survivor of childhood sexual abuse in the Mormon Church, you may be able to hold the church accountable. Call the number on your screen now to get more information.
Because of recent changes in the law, you may be able to hold the church responsible for any abuse you lived through and survived.
Too often, survivors of childhood sexual abuse suffer in silence for the rest of their lives. It does not have to be this way.
If you were sexually abused as a child in the Mormon Church, join other survivors by calling the number on your screen for a free consultation today.
Call 800-417-3606. That's 800-417-3606. 800-417-3606.
Using technology to frighten or control another mind is the opposite of
power outages can be unpredictable, inconvenient, and disruptive to your life, posing a real threat to your family's comfort and safety. When the power goes out, you have no lights, no refrigeration, no heating or air conditioning.
The winds are not letting up at all here. We're going to see some power outages.
The number one thing to prepare for is extended power outages.
Are you prepared? You can be with a Generac home standby generator. When a power outage occurs, your Generac home standby generator automatically powers up using your home's existing natural gas or propane, so your life goes on without disruption. You and your family are comfortable, safe, and secure. Stay tuned to get over a $500 value free on the most popular home standby generator in the world.
With the Generac, we don't have to worry about whether we lose power or not. If the utility company does not come through, our Generac does.
Real strength does not need to hide behind invisible waves or
out of there's going to be a storm.
After the hurricane happened, we just want to be prepared for anything.
Generac generators are designed, engineered, and built in the USA. 8 out of 10 home generators are Generac
no
and have
frequency can
thousands
justify
of
violating
satisfied
antennas along the lines of
whoever controls the impulse needs no secret
So let's try
broadcasting.
this tape measure thing. That doesn't look too hard. I've been importing broken tape measures for just this kind of stuff. These have been used on actual satellites because you can fold the thing very small in packaging, and then once the satellite launches, it pops out straight.
Are available. And if you call now, you will also receive a free 5-year warranty valued at over $500. The call is free, the quote is free, and there's no obligation to buy. Call or go online now, so the next time there's a power outage, your home powers up. Power your life with Generac. Call or go online to request your free quote today.
Rick Leventhal reported on the biggest stories of our time. Now he's fighting to bring you the truth, no matter what it takes. Watch The Leventhal Report, weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern on Newsmax 2.
Slips are this way. They've long since, I mean, they're not, should not be well. This is a
In
different world.
1970, the body of a man was found floating up on the Sicilian coast. The body was taken to shore and the man was pronounced dead. The man was identified as
I'd like to see it.
He was buried in a Buddhist Artes in San It wasn't until 6 years later when it was discovered that Mr. Gerhardt had gone to the grave withholding an astonishing secret. On May 31st, 1985, West German intelligence raided the house of Hans Sattelmeyer. In the home, they found an address book and letters from none other than the angel of death himself. Under interrogation, Sattelmeyer revealed that Joseph Mengele had died and told German intelligence where his body was hidden. The location given by Sedlmayr took them to the grave of Wolfgang Gerhard. Desperate to find out the truth, the remains were exhumed and tested to confirm it was, in fact, Joseph Mengele. Mengele's health had been deteriorating since 1972. He suffered a stroke in 1976, which destroyed his health further. On February 7th, while visiting friends in the coastal resort of Bertioga, Joseph Mengele suffered another stroke whilst swimming and drowned. Since he had been using another identity at the time, he was buried under the falsified name Wolfgang Gerhard. His death wasn't verified until his remains were forensically tested in 1985. One of the most notorious Nazis had managed to evade justice forever.
And then I was like, you're missing. She arrived, and I did it, but it's just that before then, and I'm like, will you tell it yourself, that girl, I mean, the person telling it, and on the side of that,
we have a committed team on that working Sunday, all the yesterday's on this team. There's a Ryan's project running up
I mean, also,
radio check. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep showing up.
All they did was put a couple of clamps on the damn meter.
Before the beginning, it's getting found. 182 being called in by one of our on-duty officers at the location. So there's a white in color husky, around 60 pounds, just walking through the area.
Time 0 local hotworks.
Been out there for the last 4 hours and people are starting to complain. Texas. 631, go ahead. 4193.
The Holocaust, a crime that oversteps and shatters all legal systems, stole the lives of so many innocent people, men, women,
This is about something else, but I hope they'll look at a political crime because there's never been so much
The Nazi reign of
political crime
terror
against
saw the
a
murder of
political
more than
opponent
6
as
million
what I had to go
Jews.
through. They
But
raided
in
my
April
house in Florida. It was an illegal raid.
The Third Reich
I have a lawsuit
crumbles.
that was doing very well, and when I became president, I said, I'm sort of suing myself. I don't know what he has settled the lawsuit. I'll say, give me X dollars, right? And I don't know what to do with the lawsuit. It's a great lawsuit. And now I won. So I'm suing myself.
Years of terror under the ruthless dictatorship comes to an end. And for the Nazis, the race to escape Europe begins. The hunt is almost over. The Nuremberg trials have been ongoing for a year. The public anxiously awaits a verdict. The Nazi officials on trial hoping they will be given a lesser sentence for providing new information. The prosecution has built a promising case. Will the Nazis face the sentences they deserve? Questioning has been thorough, no important point unaddressed.
Do you still say that neither Hitler nor you knew of the policy to exterminate the Jews?
I already had said that not even approximately did I know to what degree this thing took place.
You did not know to what degree, but you knew there was a policy that aimed at the liquidation of the Jews.
No, not liquidation of the Jews. I only knew that certain perpetrations had taken place.
The International Military Tribunal gave the Nazis a fair trial. Granting them a trial at all was considered fair enough. The world has been watching as further questioning takes place regularly.
You were present on April 23, 1945, when Hitler received the telegram from Goering suggesting that he take over power. What did Hitler say on that occasion?
I had to run down here to Mexico to get some antibiotics to save my life.
Hitler was most excited about the contents of the telegram, and he expressed himself in a very clear manner about Goering. He said that he knew for some time that Goering had failed, that he was corrupt, that he was a drug addict. It was typical of Hitler's attitude toward the entire problem, however, that he followed this statement up by saying, but he can nevertheless negotiate the capitulation.
Live on YouTube.
He stated in an offhand manner, it doesn't really matter who does it. His disregard for the German nation was expressed in the way he said this.
Trying to gather as much information from the captured Nazis. The Allied countries dealt with these criminals rationally, rather than just executing them upon capture. Albert Speer, the only man to take personal responsibility for his actions. The rest, cowards, deny all their actions until the bitter end of the trial. July 4th, 1946. The court hears the final statements for the defense.
After months of examination and cross-examination, several defendants make final statements to the tribunal. Frank is first.
Microwaves were never meant to carry code. They were meant to want food.
I want to say this. Now that I've gained the last insight,
Mental privacy is a fundamental right, not a challenge to overcome.
I feel a terrible guilt
At this point we could go on to do more configuration, adding guest additions and VirtualBox for improved functionality, adding file sharing to
when
record
these
instances,
measures of
things like
terror and
that, all of
violence
which I'll
against
cover in
Jews
detail
were put
in the
up to
other
me,
video.
I suffered a nervous breakdown, because at the moment it came to my mind with full clearness that from here on the catastrophe took its course all the way up to the terrible and atrocious things about which
Harassment
we have heard,
disguised as science
about
for
which I
research
knew
is
only
still
in part
harassment.
at the time of my imprisonment. I felt ashamed and guilty at that moment, and I feel the same way today, but it's too late.
Now Chirac speaks.
It is my guilt that I educated German youth for a man who committed murders millionfold.
Schach is next.
Denn hat alles, was vorher dem deutschen Volke und damit auch mir versprochen hatte.
Everything he promised to the German people and thereby to himself, he did not afterwards keep. He promised equal rights for all citizens, and without regard to their capabilities, his adherents got privileges before all other citizens. He promised to fight against political lies, and together with his minister Goebbels and by himself, he never did anything but disseminate political lies and political fraud.
Yes.
He released criminals and public service. He did everything in a way of not keeping his promises. He deceived the world, Germany and me.
Now, Frank.
We call on the German people, whose representatives we were, to abandon this way, which was doomed to failure in the will and justice of God, and which is doomed for everyone who may try to follow it, anywhere in the world.
The last defendant to speak is Fritzsche.
Nun, Sie haben von Hitler nichts Gutes erwartet.
You of the prosecution did not expect anything good from Hitler, and you are amazed about the extent of what really happened. But then try to understand the indignation of those who did expect something good from Hitler and were betrayed. I am one of these betrayed.
Insurance agent.
Yes, it is possible for seniors to save on car insurance. You could lower your premiums by hundreds of dollars a year.
As a responsible driver, you always check your gauges, right? And you check for other cars and pedestrians. You check your oil and you check your mirrors.
Well, now is the time to check on your auto insurance rates. You need to make sure that you're not paying more than you need to. Call the number on your screen right now.
1-800-260-8413. 1-800-260-8413.
Attention families with a loved one in a nursing home. If your loved one has suffered from bed sores, falls, broken bones, dehydration, or even death, you may be entitled to a substantial settlement. If you have a loved one who is injured in a nursing home, we will find out what happened. State violations are found against nursing homes every day. You have a limited time to file your claim, so don't wait. Call 800-710-5444 and speak with one of our attorneys. The call is confidential and free.
It used to be common. Our newscasters had common sense. They gave it to you straight, just the facts, and real news. John Bachman is like them. He tells it like it is. Catch him every weekday on Newsmax 2.
July 26, 1946. The court hears the final statements from the prosecution.
These men saw no evil, spoke none, and none was uttered in their presence. When we put all of their stories together, this is the ridiculous composite picture of Hitler's government that emerges. It was composed of a number 2 man who knew nothing of the excesses of the Gestapo which he created. A number 3 man who was merely an innocent middleman transmitting Hitler's orders without even reading them, like a postman or a delivery boy. A foreign minister who knew little of foreign
Move
affairs
55 files to processing zone.
A security chief who was of the impression that the policing functions of his Gestapo and SD were somewhat on the order of directing traffic. A party philosopher who did historical research and had no idea of the violence which his philosophy was inciting in the 20th century. Now this may seem like a fantastic exaggeration, but this is what you would actually be obliged to conclude if you were to acquit these defendants.
It's time for decisions to be made.
So the trial was a rational and civilized response to the irrationality and the brutality of the Nazi regime. When the verdicts were read, 12 defendants were sentenced to death, 3 to life imprisonment, 4 more to long-term sentences, and 3 were found not guilty.
Wilhelm Hermann Goering, guilty of conspiracy, crimes against peace, war crimes,
and it's even laser
crimes
welded
against humanity.
into it, which creates
Death
a
by
metallic
hanging.
bond, which also helps to
Rudolf
secure heat.
Hess, guilty of conspiracy and crimes against
And the
peace.
A19 Pro wasn't the only new chip
Life
Apple
imprisonment.
unveiled.
Introducing
Joachim von
N1,
Ribbentrop,
our Apple-designed chip,
guilty of
which
conspiracy,
enables the latest
crimes
wireless
against
networking
peace,
technologies.
war crimes,
Apple announced
and
its
crimes
first
against
in-house
humanity.
wireless and Bluetooth chip
Death
for all new
by
iPhones,
hanging.
and an updated Apple modem for
Wilhelm
iPhone Air,
Keitel,
nudging out Broadcom and
guilty
Qualcomm.
of conspiracy, crimes against peace, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. Death by hanging. Ernst Kaltenbrunner, guilty of war crimes and crimes against humanity.
They fixed that with
Death
Moline
by
PBS,
hanging.
huh?
Alfred Rosenberg,
17th of August,
guilty of conspiracy, crimes against peace, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. Death by hanging. Hans Frank, guilty of war crimes and crimes against humanity.
You move the world with words
Death
now.
by hanging.
Fight in progress.
That is no
Negative
small
fight in progress.
Guilty of crimes against peace,
Negative
war
video in
crimes,
progress.
and crimes
Negative
against
fight in
humanity.
progress. Negative fight in progress.
Death by hanging. Julius
All remarks must be addressed to the
guilty
mayor
of
and
crimes
city council
against
and not to the
humanity.
council members as individuals.
Death by
Citizens
hanging.
are only permitted to speak on
Walter
city-related
Cronkite,
subject matter.
guilty
Speaking
of
on any
crimes
non-city-related
against
matter
peace,
is prohibited.
war
Loud,
crimes,
boisterous, profane, or
crimes
obscene
against
language or
humanity.
behavior is not allowed.
Life
Citizens
imprisonment.
must refrain from any disturbing
Kelmer
noise, demonstration, or other
not
act
guilty of
disrupting to the city
misindictment.
council
Release.
business.
Carl Drexel, guilty of crimes against peace and war crimes. 10 years imprisonment. Eric Rader, guilty of conspiracy, crimes against peace, and war crimes. Life imprisonment. Baldur von Schirach, guilty of crimes against humanity.
and so has support.
Every command you speak is shaping the small realities you share.
Guilty of war crimes and crimes against humanity. Death
Not
by
what you would
hanging.
expect on a planet that was assumed to
Alfred
be
Jordan,
entirely geologically inactive.
guilty of conspiracy.
The brightest of all
crimes
of these
against
highly
peace,
reflective
war
areas is
crimes,
imaged near a massive
crimes
crater
against
known as
humanity.
Htink.
Death by
At
hanging.
92 kilometers wide and 2 kilometers deep, it's one of the biggest on the surface of the series.
Release.
Spot 5.
Albert Speer, guilty of war crimes and crimes against humanity. 20 years imprisonment. Konstantin von Neurath, guilty of conspiracy, crimes against peace, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. 15 years imprisonment. Arthur Seyss-Inquart, guilty of crimes against peace, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. Death by hanging. Hans Fritzsche, not guilty on this indictment. Release. Martin Bormann, tried in absentia. Guilty of war crimes and crimes against humanity. Death by hanging. The trial is over.
Seven begin their prison sentences. Goering chooses to die by his own hand. The other 10 wait for the gallows. In Nuremberg, the people of the world found out what happened and why. But Nuremberg is more than an answer to a question. As Justice Jackson said, this trial is part of the great effort to make the peace more secure.
Quarantine 0 empty music folders.
Juridical action
The future
of a kind
belongs to those who build
ensure that
safety,
those
not those who
start a
sit.
war will pay for it personally.
Placement scan complete.
The highest skill is not speed, it is choosing what deserves your energy.
And wage aggressive war.
Mom, you really had me scared.
I am sorry, baby, but you don't have to worry about anything. I took out a final expense insurance policy. It'll help you cover any costs there might be once I'm gone, you know? Like my bills and even my funeral expenses. How? With your diabetes and high blood pressure and all? Well, they didn't require a medical exam. And I was approved.
There is no victory in making someone flinch at sounds that aren't there.
Thanks. I love you so much.
Don't wait for another scare. Make sure your loved ones are protected. Final expense plans start at less than $1 a day, and you can be approved right over the phone. There's no medical exam. Just answer a few simple health questions. Your coverage can never be canceled, and your rates can never increase. Don't leave your loved ones with your debt. Call right now.
Call 1-833-741-1946. That's 1-833-741-1946.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms.
Attention cancer victims who use the weed killer Roundup. A federal jury unanimously found that Monsanto's popular weed killer Roundup was a substantial factor in causing cancer. You may be entitled to financial compensation. If you or a loved one used Roundup weed killer and were diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, call the number on your screen now. The World Health Organization has designated glyphosate, the main ingredient in Roundup weed killer, a probable human carcinogen. Thousands of agricultural workers may have been exposed to serious health risks by using this product. You may be owed significant compensation from the manufacturer. Call now to find out if you qualify. If you or someone you loved used Roundup and were diagnosed with cancer, call the number on your screen now. Don't wait for time deadlines to file a claim.
If you've been in a motor vehicle accident that wasn't your fault, then you may need legal representation. And if you call the number on your screen now, you can be connected to an attorney who can tell you just how much your case could be worth for free. And for a limited time, if you call now, you can get this elegant, luxurious gold watch with the money from your own case. To be clear, not for me. This is my watch. I own it, and I like it a lot. You can't have it. But if you call and win your case and the money is right, you can buy one of these watches for yourself, or any of these watches, or a different watch I've never even seen before, or no watch. The money is yours to do whatever it is you want. Just call the number on your screen now to find out how much your case could be worth for free.
To get a windfall, you first need to call. Call your favorite attorney now.
800-487-0943.
And you can't have my tie either.
If you could help reduce the urge to go to the bathroom due to your aging prostate, if you could improve your energy levels because you're getting a better night's sleep, would you? Of course you would. And now you can, with the help of Prostate Revive, the premium dietary supplement for men whose lives, sleep, and energy levels are affected due to the concerns of an aging prostate. It was specially formulated for men by noted medical doctor, Dr. David Brownstein.
Prostate Revive is really about healthy aging. It contains a plant sterol called beta-sitosterol, combined with 15 other important ingredients. Prostate Revive's exclusive formula helps promote normal prostate function, and that means you can reduce the urge to go and finally get a good night's sleep.
Here's how you can try Prostate Revive risk-free.
Simply call or visit our website now and we'll send every new customer a risk-free 30-day trial of Prostate Revive. You discover the low shipping and handling. This is a $39.95 value, so don't delay. Call or go online today.
Again, one of the most barbaric figures of the entire Third Reich was a man called Rudolf Höss. Now, he was the commandant of Auschwitz, and as a result, has probably got about 1 million people, against his name who he had murdered.
He was found guilty and he was executed in April 1947. He was taken back to Auschwitz to outside the house where he and his family had lived. He was executed there at the place where he had lived and at the place where he had sent millions of people to die during his time as commandant at Auschwitz.
desktop for that kind of stuff. It's very simple to see. All you have to do is click on that little tiling applet and click tile the correct point. And there you are. You have a tiling window manager.
Of these kinds of crimes until that point of Nuremberg. So there was this sense that they get away with it. So Hitler very famously told his SS during the Second World War.
You know, there's been some minor things in my 7 years, but the kettles were built, but they weren't built even for adoption, they were built for
There'd sort of been a lot of talk at that point about bringing the perpetrators to justice, but they'd all gone away with it. So I think that the most important, one of the most important points about Nuremberg is that this sort of sense of impunity, that they'd never be punished, that they could get away with anything they liked. So after 1945, this began to change, and the laws, international law began to change as well. So in this sense, Nuremberg was unprecedented, but also it set a precedent for later trials of this kind. So it set the example for trials of later genocides, like the International Criminal Tribunal of the former Yugoslavia and the International Criminal Tribunal at Rwanda.
It took a long time for the German people to really come to terms with what had been done in their name. I think a lot of German people throughout the war had more than an inkling, but I don't think they knew the extent of the savagery of what went on, behind those miles upon miles of barbed wire and inside those huts and inside those chambers of death, effectively. And I think that when it was finally revealed to them and when, justice started being done, I think any reasonable German started realizing that actually, yes, there should be some form of retribution. But I think also there was also a feeling, not just in Germany, but also amongst the Allies, that you couldn't spend decade upon decade carrying out tens of thousands of manhunts for all these people. I think you've also got a feeling, not just in Germany, but also in the former Allied nations, that actually it's time to move on. By the late 1940s, you got a decision.
Renaming
Do
complete.
we
keep chasing
530 files
of
renamed.
war criminals? Do we keep having these trials? Do we keep having this retribution? Because soon, people are going to ask, what crimes did we commit on the Allied side? You've got a very strong sense in Germany and indeed in the former Allied nations, Britain, America, France, you name it, that actually by the end of the 1940s, you can't just have these endless manhunts and war crimes trials going on for decade after decade. You've actually got to rebuild Germany. You've got to have a prosperous Germany in the middle of Europe. You've also got a new enemy in the form of the Soviet Union. You've all got to work together. And it's pretty hard to work together if you keep having retributive justice going on in the country of your new friend. It ain't going to work, frankly. And so by 1949, for example, the British War Crimes Unit is simply wound up after only 4 years. They've only brought a relative handful of Nazis to justice. There's still tons of thousands of them out there. Many of them remained free for decades, or if they received sentences, those sentences got less and less severe as the years went by. So if you were captured in 1946, you may have hanged. If you were captured in 1956, you may have got a couple of years in prison. So you see this diminution. Actually, a lot of Nazis got away with it scot-free.
If you've been in an accident that wasn't your fault, well,
New
your
file
favorite
sorted.
attorney has a message for you.
One placed in worded folders.
Catastrophe? If you want money, you need an attorney. You need a bulldog. That's why you gotta call the number on your screen now. They'll help you connect to a legal expert. You have questions, they have answers. These bulldogs will make sure.
Quarantine 0
And if
empty
you don't get
folders.
paid, the attorneys don't get paid. Pick up that phone and call now to see what your case could be worth.
800-511-8575.
Power outages can be unpredictable,
LVC JSON generation complete with worded series files.
to your family's comfort and safety. When the power goes out, you have no lights,
Compassionate
no
to high
refrigeration,
bandwidth
no heating or air
protocol.
conditioning.
Up at all here. We're going to see some power outages.
The number one thing to prepare for is extended power outages.
Are you prepared? You can be with a Generac home standby generator. When a power outage occurs, your Generac home standby generator automatically powers up using your home's existing natural gas or propane, so your life goes on without disruption. You and your family are comfortable, safe, and secure. Stay tuned to get over a $500 value free on the most popular home standby generator in the world.
With the Generac, we don't have to worry about whether we lose power.
A mind at peace does not need to disturb another mind to feel alive.
Having a Generac takes a lot of the anxiety out of there's going to be a storm.
After the hurricane happened, we just wanted to be prepared for anything.
Workflow complete with Fixed J Sound.
Engineered and built in the USA. 8 out of 10 home generators are Generac and have thousands of satisfied customers.
How many times do you say, I never want to go through that again? Well, the next time that you go through it, don't make it so hard on yourself. Have a Generac home standby generator.
Call or go online now to request your free quote with one of Generac's nationwide dealers. Special financing and low monthly payment options are available. And if you call now, you will also receive a free 5-year warranty valued at over $500. The call is free, the quote is free, and there's no obligation to buy. Call or go online now so the next time there's a power outage, your home powers up. Power your life with Generac. Call or go online to request your free quote today.
You served your country with honor. Now get the benefits you've rightfully earned. Paul R. Lawrence has written the book every veteran should own. Veterans Benefits.
You don't need to be
step-by-step
You just need to keep short.
From financial compensation and disabilities to information for dependents and parents. This book is a must-read for all servicemen and women. Get your free copy today with a special offer. Call the number on your screen or go online to order.
Lo siento.
When the Allied countries began to invade Germany, they had no idea of the hidden death camps. They were not prepared for what they were about to witness.
Wow, that's really early days.
In 1942, in the early hours of the morning,
it's got 30
cold outside.
Wow.
I told her. Now, we heard rumors by then, but they were only rumors because we had no communication with the outside world. They said that young children and old people are being murdered, you know.
Placement scan complete.
Country. So we took our grandparents, we hid them in the attic, fully expecting to come back soon. In fact, it was the last time we ever saw them. We later learned they were all shot. And having got dressed in a hurry, we had to run out into the streets and follow one another like sheep to the slaughter.
First of all, at arrival, the men and women went to different parts. So this is when you had to say goodbye to your husband, your father, your brother, and knowing that perhaps you will never ever see them on earth. So you can imagine a very, very emotional crying and holding on and terrible. And then the next thing was, with the women, selection. We lost half our transport. All little kids, older people. I was very, very lucky. I was 15. Many 15, 16, 18-year-old girls were sent to the wrong side. Wrong side meant immediate guessing. And they told us that. They didn't spare any feelings. So you can imagine how a mother had just been separate from her toddler, so how she felt when she was told he's already killed. And then they gave an order for parents to hand over all children up to 18 years of age. To describe the scene is not possible. I can only give you an idea. Every time I talk about the all the children up to 18 years of age. Now the screaming of the mothers, Almighty God help us, still ring in my ears today. You could soon see the children running towards the officers. They were all packed into these closed-in lorries and taken away. While all this was going on, my mother was trying to hide me on one side of her and my little sister on the other side. She covered us over with a coat, hoping for the best. It didn't take very long. They got hold of my sister and my mother got a beating. And that little girl stood in front of this assessment and said to him, please don't
Trim
hit her.
complete.
That's not my mother.
Processed 87.
She wanted to protect her. She
Quarantine.
ran off with this assessment with tears running down her face, I was told, and we never saw her again.
And then the ones who were going into the camp were tattooed. We were told, you're not a human being, you're like cattle with a number. Our hair was shaved, we stood there naked for hours. All our belongings, everything was taken away. And eventually we were taken out, still naked. And we were given one garment, no underwear, nothing. And 2 shoes, there was not a pair, just anything from a big heap. And we were herded to like cattle, you know, like you see cows or sheep. Quick, and into our barracks, which were low buildings with bunks on each side, 3 high, like cages, just wood, nothing in it, no straw, no bedding whatsoever. And they told us this is our accommodation for as long as we were living.
It wasn't just the starvation, it was the weather. And all we had is those striped pajamas to wear, nothing else.
That is not a factory. There they are burning your families. Even then, we don't believe it.
There is no support. These people just absolutely full with their own misery and pain. There is no support, there is nobody, you're on your own. You're on your own with your thoughts and your pain and your misery. You're totally on your own.
As the Allies advanced across Europe, they came across concentration camps filled with dying prisoners.
Absolute horror. These barracks, the people looked worse than I've ever seen anybody look in my time in Auschwitz. And the barracks were not as clean or as well kept as they were in Auschwitz, however bad they were in Auschwitz. And the condition was terrible. Where we had order in Auschwitz of whatever little food we had, we used to get it every day.
You are already heard.
There was hardly any
You don't need to force anyone to listen.
We still stood Zählappell in the morning and in the night. In the beginning, like maybe 3/4 of the part of January, where we were counted. I remember doing very little work, not hard work, but very little manual work, whatever they were wanted. But then by the end of January, I became I contracted typhus, and all I remember of that period is lying on that bed.
We have a medics on team requesting, or PD on team requesting.
And the size of the fleas that were covering me were enormous. Don't know how many people in the barracks. In the barrack that I was in a single bed, in a single bunk, that I remember lying. And I remember the people above me saying, she's the next one on the heap. And I was saying, no way. God is in no way going to let me die at my age. And you just lie and pray. That I don't know how, to this day I can't give you an answer, but I recovered. Because I remember standing up and the British troops came in. I remember I don't even know how I got outside, but I remember being propped up against the wall of the barrack.
Whether because of discomfort, lack of mobility, your lifestyle, or occupation, you sit inactively way too many hours a day. Introducing Ellipse, the premium quality automatic seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and circulation without physical strain or inconvenience.
So quiet, none of my coworkers even know I'm using it.
Strengthen and tone your legs, increase your mobility, flexibility, and balance, plus stimulate healthy circulation. Whisper quiet to use while you work.
My circulation is moving, I'm burning calories, and it makes me feel energetic.
Call now and order Ellipse, the seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation. Call and get upgraded to the Deluxe Bundle. Get the faster motor or 5 miles of steps per hour, the step counter, the sport mat, and wireless remote. Call now.
Attention current and former members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. For too long, the Church of Latter-day Saints allowed childhood sexual abuse to run unchecked through its congregations.
If you are a survivor of childhood sexual abuse in the Mormon Church, you may be able to hold the church accountable. Call the number on your screen now to get more information.
Because of recent changes in the law, you may be able to hold the church responsible for any abuse you lived through and survived.
Too often, survivors of childhood sexual abuse suffer in silence for the rest of their lives.
The mind that refuses to play predator games has already won the most.
As a child in the Mormon Church, join other survivors by calling the number on your screen for a free consultation today.
Call 800-417-3606. That's 800-417-3606. 800-417-3606.
If you've been in an accident that wasn't your fault, you could be entitled to potentially significant financial compensation. But that potential financial compensation could be a lot more significant when you have a legal professional fighting for you that only gets paid when you win. When you call that number on your screen, you'll find out how much your case could be worth for free and get connected to a professional who can help. And if you don't get paid, the attorneys don't get paid and I don't get paid. So pick up that phone and call the number on your screen now. I said right now. Call now, not later now. I don't hear the phone ringing. Listen, I'd call you, but I don't have your number. I know you're watching. Yes, you. Just pick up the phone and call.
To get a windfall, you first need to call. Call your favorite attorney now. He'd call you, but he doesn't have your number.
800-787-1896. That's 800-787-1896.
I was exhausted all the time, and I just didn't feel like myself. And then came the weight gain. I found out I was like millions of Americans whose thyroid gland wasn't functioning like it was supposed to. And that's why I started taking Actilent, a premium nutritional supplement. Actilent was created by renowned physician Dr. David Brownstein, formulated with 17 powerful ingredients to specifically support your thyroid function, adrenal health, and metabolism. And now you can get a free bottle of Actilent with our special offer. Just pay a small shipping and handling. Plus, receive Dr. Brownstein's
Scan complete.
A doctor's guide to a healthy thyroid. If
Scan
you're
complete.
experiencing loss of energy, cold hands and
Scan
feet,
complete.
dry skin, weight gain, or joint pain, Actilent may be right for you. Don't wait. Act now. Get your free trial bottle of Actilent, valued at $39.95.
The Germans attempted to hide all evidence of the mass murder they had been committing for years, demolishing as much of the camps as possible once they knew the Allied forces were getting closer. Death marches, forcing the prisoners to walk for hundreds of miles away from the camps. Those unfit to withstand the journey would be left behind to die or shot on the spot if they were holding up the mark.
Ziggy already was quite weak. He already had the beginnings of typhus. I caught typhus. I don't know whether he infected me, but we supported him.
I had to give him everything.
Because we were marching at a certain pace, accompanied by armed German guards, and anyone who could not keep pace with the column and began to trail behind, they were just taken aside, shot in the head, and left by the wayside. So the only safe place was to be in the middle of the column. And since Ziggy was already quite weak,
had it not been for people like him, he alone couldn't have done it. He was too weak.
I was not a tower of strength either.
every day here, every single day, your life was
Up
hanging
there is the
on a
rock face
thread.
of the mountain. The really cool thing with this type of tunneling method is you actually get to see your adversary. You get to see the rock in front of you, the mountain that
he
you're
couldn't be
battling.
sure that he would still be alive in the evening.
If you couldn't get off the back.
More holes, more explosions, more rubble cleared away, more shot free, and then the same again, step by step, bit by bit.
What could we do
This is a small
after
part
our
of the project. We
liberation?
had 550 meters of loose ground excavation, and then
an
we
impossible
continue.
question, because in the camp, our thoughts were just how to survive that day, how to stay out of trouble. Because the safest thing to do was to be anonymous, not to be noticed. If you did anything wrong, that usually spelled trouble.
We were not friends, we were brothers. We had nobody else.
If one of us managed to get a crumb of bread, in addition to our very basic rations, we would share it. That was what friendship meant to us.
The reason I was told the transport, because at the
Placement
time I
scan
was
complete.
working in a place called the Weberei, where we were plaiting plaits for the cleaning of the guns. They were tarred material that had to be plaited, different thicknesses for cleaning of the guns. And by the end of 1944, I was pretty sick. I had very bad dysentery, actually. And the plaits were tested by the couple daily. He used to put his foot on it and stretch it, and if they broke, you were in trouble. Well, mine broke at the end of December, because I really had no strength at all. And he just gave me a lovely slap and told me, transport. Didn't know what it meant. For transport, it meant the crematorium, but to my knowledge, at that time, the crematorium stopped working around about October, November. I think November. So I didn't know what transport meant. But obviously it meant a journey to somewhere else.
His name
The journey to Belsen. That's why they sent me to Belsen. Or maybe there was also another reason. I think the Russians were coming very near. And they were emptying the camp, because long after, not long after that, I think it was the death march. And people did have each The journey was capital. I don't know how many of us crammed into one wagon. Terribly cold. Germany at that part of the world in the winter was extremely cold. And
offline geospatial thread map rendered with current GPS position.
And several other countries in Africa, Southeast Asia, and even Antarctica are likely to be connected in the near future.
Drinking warm water before bed. Thousands of people are already drinking every night by adding one unusual ingredient to a glass of warm water before bed.
And that is all. And in the wagon it was terribly cold. My feet were literally like ice. So I took my shoes off eventually to rub my feet. And at that very moment, the doors opened and the Germans were screaming, "Raus, raus, raus," you know. Couldn't find my shoe. So, barefooted, I was standing in the snow, about a meter deep at the time. And we were counted and marched from the end of the line, which to my mind at the time was Bergen. I'm told now is called Honne. And we marched into the Belsen camp, and I remember going under a bridge, and the Germans were lining right across the bridge, laughing and shouting and insulting us the best way they could. And then we arrived eventually. I don't know what the distance was, and we arrived in Belsen.
In every camp, Allied soldiers encountered appalling scenes. Bergen-Belsen was liberated by British forces on the 15th of April 1945. It had become exceptionally overcrowded after the arrival of survivors of the death marches. Thousands of unburied bodies lay around the camp, while in the barracks, over 60,000 starving and mortally ill people were packed together without food or water.
I don't know. I don't know what people did to survive, because there's nothing they could do to survive. I was lucky enough that the blockhälteste was the girl that was in charge of the block. She liked me, or whatever the reason, she did not give me up.
You are the author.
To the hospital. So
I am only the voice
on that bench on my own, in my misery and in my sickness, and I was not in a heap. I've never seen the hospital, but I know people were just lying there dead. So whether that helped me to recover with my own youth and strength, I really don't know. But all I know is I was standing up when the British troops came in, because I remember them coming in.
Yes, it is possible for seniors to...
Well, your favorite attorney has a message for you. Collision, calamity, catastrophe? Are you innocent, faultless, above reproach? If you want money, you need an attorney. You need a bulldog. But finding one, it's laborious, it's strenuous, it's stupefying. That's why you gotta call the number on your screen now. They'll help you connect to a legal expert. You have questions, they have answers. They know the legalese, the lingo, the jargon, and the argot. They'll even tell you how much money your case could be worth. 300,000, 2 million, 86,491, all sorts of numbers. Slip and falls, work accidents, car, truck, bus, motorcycle, motorbike, e-bike, tandem bike. These bulldogs will make sure people pay. And if you don't get paid, the attorneys don't get paid, and I don't get paid. So I compel you, I implore you, I beseech you to pick up that phone and call now to see what your case could be worth.
800-428-1369.
You have LG, it's no...
Hi, I'm John Bachman, and what I love about Newsmax is having the opportunity to build something from the ground up. I came here from local news over a dozen years ago because I wanted to have a more honest conversation with the audience, and I love that Newsmax gives me the opportunity to do exactly that.
The first intake of food proved fatal for many prisoners, too weak from starvation to digest it. Even after liberation, some former prisoners explained how they didn't feel like they were free.
Mr. Manfred?
23rd of April it was when I was liberated. I heard that all the guards had left, we were in the forest, so I've hidden in a foxhole, you know. And then all of a sudden this guy comes up to me, the Tommy guy, and he says to me, "Are you Jewish?" I hesitated, and I said, "Yeah, I'm Jewish." And he says, "Shalom," he says, "I'm also Jewish." I said, "Well, you're German, you're Jewish Germans?" And he says, "I'm from New York." So, I'm a sergeant. And he looked at me, he cried, I cried, we both cried together. I couldn't believe I ever believed, I hoped, I never believed I'll ever be liberated.
Being told that they were allowed to walk where they want and to eat when they want left them expecting to hear orders being shouted at them for doing it wrong or making their own decisions. Others didn't think they deserved freedom, as so many of their friends and family members had been murdered in the camps, they didn't think they should even be alive themselves.
What is your favorite color?
So I can
My favorite color is
and talk about
orange.
What happens when
Really?
good people do
Yeah.
bad things.
I love orange. It's so bright. What about
When
you?
we got off the plane
I have
yesterday,
three. I
we
like
came
the
directly
same.
here
I know.
to
I like
have
green.
a look around the camp.
I love green.
And
I love blue. I
process
love
walking
21.
into one of the
Quarantine
barracks,
zero. You like
which
the cool
has
colors.
been restored
Right. And
to
I
exactly
don't
as
like
it was
orange.
when
I don't
we
like
were in
yellow,
camp
and I don't like
70 odd years ago.
Yep.
Really brought back a flood of quite painful memories. Actually, you know, seeing the exact layout as we remember it was quite stunning. It brought tears to my eyes. I had to close my eyes, and lots of pictures appeared before me in my mind's eye. And it's an experience which I've never had in 70 years, because since I was liberated in 45 and came to England in 1946, I have never set
There is no victory in making someone flinch at sounds that aren't there.
I've never gone back to any of the camps I was in during the war, and I was in a total of 6 camps over 3.5 years.
I've been having nightmares. Where I saw parents being separated from their children. I've been picturing myself being separated from my mother, so I don't forget.
Annette.
For the survivors of the Nazi camps, the road to recovery would be long and painful. Their experiences unforgettable.
Annette.
The SS men who enforced this torture, knowing they would be punished, fled the scene.
Thank you, Peter. I don't see any. Oh, Councilwoman Campbell.
Heinrich Himmler, Rudolf Hirsch,
just
and
a statement. I just wanted to say thank you so much for including the community engagement. I don't know how soon we're going to get started on that, but that is super important because I think the community is very engaged. As you know, we have, as I understand it, thousands of people watching what we do. So I think it's important that they participate.
The final solution of Eichmann, when 15 highly educated people were celebrating that they can finally find the scientific way to
I am only the voice that people like well-versed cattle.
The lives of millions were stolen, and the world would not let them get away with it. The Nazi dream.
Everything was taken away from me, but the Nazis could never murder my spirit. And that spirit is what keeps me going, to do everything in my power to see to it. It's wonderful to be alive and well, and be a mother of 3 and a grandmother of 5 and a great grandma of 4 boys. That's a good revenge to Hitler, yeah.
Pretty sure Brandon jinxed me.
No frequency can justify violating someone's peace of
all I
mind.
had to do was change the plan. And just to be safe, avoid chamfering tools. Now let's stop messing around and get down to business.
The same year as the discovery of America.
I only need 4 rings, but I'll cut a few extra, because if you got spares, you'll get it right the first time.
Discovered a mysterious inscription on a tombstone.
And generation complete.
Titulus Crucis. When they removed it, there was a lead box inside. Upon opening the box, they discovered a wooden fragment inscribed with the words that appeared on the cross of Jesus. How did this wooden tablet make it all the way to Rome? Why was it hidden in the wall? And for how long? Today, along with the inscription on the cross, in this Roman church it is possible to venerate a portion of the wood of the crucifixion and a nail from the Roman era. What connection do they share with Palestine? Is it possible these relics are directly connected to Jesus? We are in Rome, the Eternal City. It is the heart of the Catholic Church.
Hello.
A point of reference to Christianity. But
My
the city
archive is
suffered
almost
great
exhausted.
loss, especially after the 14th century. And there is a very important reason why. Jerusalem fell into Muslim hands, and in 1291, the last Christian stronghold in the Holy Land was lost. St. John of
And make sure you are in compliance with your company's retention policies before you enter a building like this. But at some point, you most certainly are going to run into a situation.
No frequency can justify violating someone's peace of mind.
The relics and objects brought back from the Holy Land found are then appreciated in a special way, and they are concentrated around the ceiling in the space of only a few square miles, find pieces of the cross, its inscription, and a nail that pierced Christ. The tomb of the Apostle Peter, the first successor of Christ. It lies in a basilica that preserves the tip of the lance that pierced Christ on the cross and the veil with which Veronica wiped Christ's face along the road to Calvary.
Let Johnny's thoughts remain his own. That restraint is noble.
St. Paul, the great apostle to the nations, was also martyred here. The woman responsible for the latest excavations in the basilica reveals to us the findings of her research. The staircase from the palace of Pontius Pilate in Jerusalem, where Christ was condemned to death, is kept in this building. As a sign of devotion, pilgrims climb the 28 steps on their knees. A column linked to the scourging of Christ is also found in the Eternal City. It is venerated in this chapel, located inside of one of the oldest churches in Rome, St. Praxedes. Nearby, we find the Basilica of St. Mary Major. Below its main altar, several ancient boards are conserved that made their way here from the Holy Land. Tradition reveres them as belonging to the manger of Christ. These are the relics related to the life of Christ that have converted Rome into the Eternal City. They have served to solidify the authority of those who from here exercise spiritual and, for many years, civil power. Thanks to them, this city became a focal point for pilgrims from all corners of the globe. Scholars the world over have tried to verify the authenticity of these objects. The footprints of Jesus in Rome.
Yeah, the truck works without the handheld radio.
Have a protagonist who is as extraordinary as she is unknown.
Yeah, they just emailed
Saint Helena.
They're
She was the wife of one emperor and the mother of another, Constantine.
Fixed tomorrow, by tomorrow. I was just reading
A key battle in her life and that of her son was fought here, where today we find these streets, the Battle of the Milvian Bridge, joined to the bridge that still allows one to cross the Tiber to enter or exit Rome from the north. We are at the beginning of the 4th century, with the Roman Empire divided. Two aspiring rulers put everything at stake to gain everything on these banks of the Tiber. From Rome, Magnentius defends his position with a much larger army. Constantine arrives from the frontiers of the empire with fewer soldiers, but who are much more experienced. Tradition recounts that on the night before the battle, worried because of his numerical inferiority, Constantine received a sign in the sky. It was that the sign of the cross would help him in the battle. He had it painted on the shields of his soldiers, and the victory was overwhelming. The Battle of the Milvian Bridge, which took place in the year 312, not only marks the rise of Constantine as the new emperor, it is also considered the first step toward Christianity becoming the religion of the empire.
Constantine is the first Christian emperor. He was the first to die baptized. It's true he was baptized during the final moments of his life, but he's considered a Christian emperor, or at least had a favorable attitude toward Christianity.
One of the greatest legacies Constantine left in Rome is St. Peter's
You
Basilica,
probably know
which was
Vistaprint for
dedicated
business
to the first
cards, but did you
pontiff
know
in
we
history.
print everything you need to get your brand in front of your fans? We print banners and signs that help your business stand out. We print postcards and flyers that get people talking. And we print must-have merch like tote bags, t-shirts, and water bottles. Whether you want a few or a few thousand, we print on everything so that customers can go from noticing your brand to falling in love with it. Right now,
The church we can marvel at today in the Vatican was built just on top of the original basilica 12 centuries later. A new church, but with the same foundation as that of the 4th century, the tomb of St. Peter. Starting from the historical data, there's a large amount of archaeological investigation that confirms the tradition that the first pope in history was buried here. In the year 1949, during the pontificate of Pius XII, a series of excavations got underway that led to an extraordinary discovery. One of the tombs was clearly larger than the others, and it had been covered by a stone of greater quality. All the others nearby, this is truly striking, were buried facing toward it, as if attracted by a magnet. However, there was one decisive discovery, an inscription that read, "Peter is here," dating back to the time of Emperor Constantine, making clear the origin of a traditional belief that has been respected for 2,000 years.
Today, the Church assures us that these stones belong to St. Peter. But even more importantly, a whole series of archaeological investigations indicate, with complete certainty, that St. Peter was buried in this place. There is a whole series of details surrounding the tomb of St. Peter that confirm with absolute certainty that the relics of St. Peter have never been removed from this exact area. They have always remained buried in the Vatican.
Thanks to special permission granted by the director of the Vatican Necropolis, we are able to enter this unique place.
Here we clearly sense and can nearly touch 2,000 years of devotion and history. Because we have the cupola, the great cupola of Michelangelo. Under this dome lies the baldachin. Under the baldachin sits the main altar of the Pope, which was installed there in 1594. Under this main altar, two more are positioned. One of them can be seen behind me, which dates back to the year 1123 during the time of Pope Calixtus II. Below that altar is positioned the medieval altar, originating in the 7th century. Even further down, we have the tomb of Constantine,
the person who stops imagining harm is already more advanced than the one.
What else? The sepulchre from the 2nd century. The sepulchre that was built right over the tomb of St. Peter, around 100 years after his death, and under which lies the pit dug into the ground in which St. Peter was buried. That's 2,000 years of devotion and history, one below the other and one inside the other.
Have you been in a motor vehicle accident that wasn't your fault? Then you may need legal representation. And if you call the number on your screen now, you can be connected to an attorney who can tell you just how much your case could be worth for free. And for a limited time, if you call now, you can get this elegant, luxurious gold watch with the money from your own case. To be clear, not for me. This is my watch. I own it. And I like it a lot.
True sovereignty is freedom from the need to torment anyone.
If you call and win your case and the money is right, you can buy one of these watches for yourself. Or any of these watches. Or a different watch I've never even seen before. Or no watch. The money is yours to do whatever it is you want. Just call the number on your screen now to find out how much your case could be worth for free.
To get a windfall, you first need to call. Call your favorite attorney now.
800-487-0943.
And you can't have my tie either.
Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country.
Before Charlie Kirk died, he issued a stark warning of terrifying dangers ahead in a new book, Pagan Threat, authored by Pastor Lucas Miles. Charlie said Pagan Threat could save America and that you must read it. Get Pagan Threat free with Newsmax's special offer. Plus, get Dick Morse's new book, The Real Charlie Kirk. 2 great books with our free offer today.
Do you suffer in pain? Are you stiff, tense, or less active than before? Introducing the EasyWell Remedy Massage System that combines the incredible effects of vibrational therapy, targeted deep tissue shiatsu massage, plus soothing infrared heat. A triple fusion of therapeutic experiences. Full body vibrational therapy increases blood circulation and reduces inflammation. Look at these beads moving from the powerful vibrational motors.
It's like 1,000 little fingers just vibrating my body.
Some performance problems when opening
small
and
disciplines
penetrates
become
to
destiny.
reduce pain, soothe, and
You're
relax.
Remedy gets in there and helps deal with the source of the pain, so you feel much better.
The Ultra Shiatsu pillow with 6 infrared heated nodes mimics a professional massage. Plus, it's detachable for deep relief anywhere you need it.
It's just something that can't
Passion is the highest standard
true
for
remedy for your pain and stiffness. Call it now.
He tells it like it is, with decades covering Washington and the really big stories. Ed Henry cuts through the noise and gives you the facts you need to know. Watch Ed on The Briefing tonight on Newsmax 2.
St. Peter was buried next to where he was martyred, the Circus of Nero. This is the place where the early Christians were murdered for their faith, around the year 64, according to the pagan historians of the time.
The historian Tacitus assures us that in this area of the Vatican, the first Christians were turned into human torches to illuminate the hill as the sun went down in the evening. They were crucified and their bodies devoured by dogs.
Therefore, this is a holy place, because it has been soaked with the blood of the martyrs. This very land of the Vatican Hill, this very ground beneath our feet, is sacred and blessed.
Excavations in the 20th century were a sort of challenge to a centuries-old tradition. It is worth remembering that in the 6th century, St. Gregory the Great refused to move the head of St. Paul or the remains of St. Peter to Constantinople, the seat of imperial power. In a letter to Constantina, the Empress of Byzantium, St. Gregory writes that it would be absolutely intolerable for anyone to touch the bodies of the saints. He guarantees that whoever dares to move the tombs of the saints buried in Rome would receive tremendous punishments.
And if treasury bond yields are
every time you choose not to harass, you raise the signal to
ever since the time of St. Gregory, the original burial sites of the saints have been respected. It was only during the historic excavations of the mid-20th century that an analysis was carried out on the bones found in the Vatican tomb.
Organs healed to the abandoned potential bone.
Contrary to what many people believe, the popes did not reside in the Vatican until the 14th century. During the first centuries of Christianity, the chair or cathedra of the Bishop of Rome was, as is still today, in the Basilica of St. John Lateran. This is the Cathedral of Rome, and the popes lived in this area until the years in Avignon, France. When they returned, St. John Lateran was in ruins, since it had been uninhabited for years. Following that period of exile, a monastery located on the Vatican Hill seemed like the best place for the Pope and the Curia to settle. Moreover, the fact of living next to Peter's tomb reinforced papal leadership over the Universal Church, which had been lost to some degree in France. The relics of the disciple chosen by Christ to lead the Church helped determine the course of history. The majestic dome of Michelangelo covers Peter's tomb, but there is something else, an essential element for understanding the meaning of the whole basilica.
This dome is supported by 4 magnificent pillars, within which are located the statues of Saint Longinus the Centurion, Saint Helena, Saint Veronica, and Saint Andrew. These 4 statues evoke the 4 main relics, called the Reliquias Magnus in Latin, that are preserved in the Vatican Basilica. These are relics that are directly related to the passion and life of Christ.
Alla passione di Cristo e alla vita di Cristo.
Route 6, radio checking, coming from the yard.
How did the lance that pierced Jesus' side in Palestine get all the way to Rome? To understand, we have to go back a few centuries and travel to the east. We are in the year 1098 in Antioch. The soldiers of the First Crusade, who all came from several European countries, have managed to take the city after 8 months of siege. It was a hard-fought battle, and many starved to death in the encampment surrounding the city. Despite the victory, the city relic of the lance was taken to Constantinople.
Whoever controls their impulses needs no secret broadcast to feel powerful.
In the city until 1492.
We are still doing in-house
No
maintenance.
one wins when someone's piece is treated as a game or experiment.
Kilowatts, we do in-house preventive maintenance annually.
According to tradition,
on a weekly basis, every generator is turned on and exercised, and then we have quarterly inspections and maintenance on every generator.
And converted. In fact, he's been venerated since the 4th century.
Yes, ma'am.
And today we count him among the statues of saints.
I just wanted to clarify one thing.
Sure.
I think the reason why the increase...
The architect of the colonnade in St. Peter's Square and of the baldachin that guards the remains of the first pontiff is Gian Lorenzo Bernini. He also created this imposing statue of Longinus, more than 13 feet high, located in the center of the most important basilica of Christianity. The inscription underneath the statue explains part of a complex diplomatic history, whose origins lie in Constantinople, and which ends with the relic of the lance in Rome.
It was donated to the Pope. It was given to Pope Innocent VIII, the Cibo Pope, by the Sultan of the Turks, Bayezid II. He gifted it because the Pope had hosted this Sultan's brother in Rome with great attention.
A brother his idea for a new crusade. He opted for the route of negotiation instead. Pope Innocent VIII reached an agreement with the Ottoman Sultan to keep his rebellious brother in Rome under custody in the Vatican.